My children now.
Oh, you're so cool, Brewster.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
You lied and I died.
I'm feeling woozy, yeah. They're coming to get you, Barbara.
How's it hanging, Phil?
From the prime time, bitch.
Come and get it.
So either put the gun down now or kiss your ass goodbye.
Let's get this party started.
Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys.
Oh, I don't know how
I
he
am
wears
Ken
that.
Sledge,
And I'm Ashley Sledge.
and let's talk horror. Now, tonight, guys, we are joined by two people that mean a lot to me, two great friends of mine.
To us.
Over here, to us. I'm sorry, I'm an asshole. Over here, we got the amazing Mike Vanderbilt of the Halloweenies. Mike, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well. Looking forward to. I love talking about the Friday the 13th films. I really do.
Oh, me too. And down here, well-known member of the channel, we got the Clintonville slasher. Louis, how you doing tonight, brother?
Really good, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, this is such an honor for us. Now, obviously, at the beginning of the show, we always want to let you guys know what these guys are up to and what they're doing. And you might be asking yourself, who the fuck is Mike Vanderbilt? Well, there are shirts that ask the same question. So, listen, I'm not trying to insult Mike. If you don't know, he does have a shirt line that says, who the fuck is Mike Vanderbilt? Which
It's
I'll be
100% true. You can't write that shit.
So I'll be having one of those very soon. But Mike, for the people that don't know you, can you kind of let people know who you are?
Yeah, I'm Mike Vanderbilt, co-host of the Halloweenies podcast on the Bloody Disgusting Network, horror podcast. Every year we do a new horror franchise. We've done Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street, but it doesn't really get good until Friday the 13th because that was the season that I joined after doing a couple guest spots on the Elm Street ones. We did Scream, and we are currently in the middle of the Evil Dead, but our plans kind of got blown up because we were building up to the release of Evil Dead Rise, which of course is happening next year. But of course, we'll find out. We are doing an episode on Multiverse of Madness this month, which I won't be on because it was made after 1998. Most people know, if you listen to the show, I don't listen to any horror. I won't watch any horror movies made after the late 90s. It's not really true, but it's a gag on the show. And go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, and I live in Chicago, and I was voted Chicago's best bartender by the Chicago Reader this year.
That's so cool, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. The Readers are alt weekly, and it's one of the last ones left in the country, and that was like one of those, people it actually means something because people still do read the Reader. But I'm really excited about doing this show. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Love what you guys are doing, and really enjoy the Instagram. And you guys are from Michigan, right?
We are.
Detroit, yes?
Yeah.
Or close enough.
Close enough. Yeah.
We're actually October 14th. We're going to be in your neck of the woods. The movie that I'm in, Bride of Killer Pinata, is getting a theatrical release out in Chicago. So,
wait. Where's it premiering?
I don't know the name of the theater, but it is Angry Mule Productions is who's doing it.
I think I know those guys. What night of the week is that?
Friday.
Perhaps I'll. Oh no, we're doing. I don't want to. No, yes, go see Attack of the Killer Pinata. Don't come see what I'm doing. But you know how it is. You know how it is when you're a quote unquote horror professional. October is your busy time of year.
Absolutely.
Right. That's exactly what we've been trying to tell people that without sounding like assholes. So, but the good thing about Mike and his podcast, gosh, I always do that. His podcast link is down here in the description, so you could check it out and you can find out for yourself just who the fuck is Mike Vanderbilt. So, but we also do have the Clintonville slasher. Our boy Louis, been a great friend of the channel for a long time. For anybody that came in a little late that don't know Louis, can you give people a little bit about what you do?
So I am from Wisconsin. This must be a Midwest party. And my
Midwest
YouTube
is
channel.
best.
Yeah, that's true, man. On my YouTube channel, I do interviews with people around the horror punk community. I do bands and authors. And then I do stuff with my band, Frankenhooker. So I do a lot of stuff with that, do movie reviews. And I'm working on our third horror film right now. We'll
That's
release.
awesome, man.
Yeah, it should be done soon. 24th is the last day of shooting.
Nice.
That's great, man. I'm very happy
Yeah.
for
That's
you.
awesome.
Thank you.
I know how hard it is to make a film. So
Mhm.
anybody that's out there rocking that out, I respect it and I appreciate it. So
Absolutely.
before we get started, I want to tell everybody, make sure that you're checking out the podcast on Spotify. Make sure you're subscribing to the Clintonville Slasher down here on YouTube. I have those links in the description. Before we get started, let's catch up on the chat and say hello to everybody here. J Dev is here. Shaim is here.
Hey, J-Dev. Hey,
Outside the
Shaim.
9, how you doing?
Outside the 9.
Tatum
Hello.
Dawn, our friend, is here. Oh,
Hi.
already, guys.
Thanks,
I can't make it
Charles.
tonight. Oh, bummer, dude.
Bummer.
But we got a donation, guys. So you all know, if you've been here before, what that means.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
It's those damn enchiladas, baby. Thank you though, for real, Charles. I know you're not here. Hopefully you're watching on a replay, and just know that we really appreciate you. Thank you so much. It means a lot to us. I see a lot of NFL talk in here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of
Start Sunday. Sunday.
funny you should say that.
I know. I saw your hat. That's why I went and grabbed mine.
So yeah, everybody in the chat, please push that like button. Also, please sub to the amazing panel, and all the links are right here. So make it a little bit easier for you guys to click on. Thank you, Tatum. You're amazing. We
Tatum.
appreciate you. Sorry guys, I'm not gonna read all the NFL stuff, but to everybody that's here, and I'm so glad you guys are here and you're having your conversation. That's really awesome. But I appreciate it, and obviously I'm a fan. Shaheen,
The Bears are going to
Rob,
suck this year anyway.
I'm a Lions fan, bro.
Yeah.
It's in our DNA.
I got hurt in a Lions game once.
Were you watching it as a Lions fan?
No, I jumped off my couch when Aaron Rodgers threw that touchdown pass
Fuck
at game
that. I don't
winner.
want to talk anymore.
That was so great.
Hey, Louie.
What?
Eat shit and die, Ricky. Eat shit and live, Bill.
How about that, buddy?
Yeah, right.
But the chat, you guys check it out. Got to hear "Ooh Baby Yeah" for the amazing channel. Tatum,
Yes.
here it is.
Here you go.
Just
Tatum.
for you, love.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
We got you. Thank you so much for your donation, Tatum. Every penny that comes into Sledgehammer Horror goes back into Sledgehammer Horror. So thank you guys so much. Oh, for fuck's sake, get out of here, Marsh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I like that guy. We just became best friends.
That's been one of my
best
that's one of
friends.
my OG best friends, man. Damn it, that means Louis is a Packers fan. Still love you, man, but not your team, brother. Thank
That's
you,
all
buddy. All right, guys. So, chat, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys all being here. Oh, Ashley, have you gotten the Hocus Pocus cereal yet?
I have not. I did see that. I haven't seen it on the shelves, but I've seen other people have gotten it.
Well, we need to check that out.
I know. I want to try it.
Well,
I'm like the kids that want the toy. Like I just want it because it says Hocus Pocus. on
right.
it.
Well, I mean,
Right.
before we could try the cereal, though, we got a donation.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
My goal in every stream is to have everybody singing this while they're in bed tonight. All right. I'm ready for my hockey to start. Dallas Stars. See, I'm a Red Wings guy, but I love me some hockey. I'm a Detroit guy, born and raised in Detroit. You know how it goes. So they have it at Target. Oh, great. Now we got another reason to go to Target.
I don't even need a reason to go to Target, so we're good.
All right, Shaim says Hocus Pocus cereal. I'm looking for that. Okay, guys, we are going to get started on our rankings. Now, I want to say right off the top, none of these are set in stone. What this is our personal opinions on the films. And me and Ashley genuinely did a rewatch of every single one of these movies. And I can say my list has changed dramatically from the last time I did this. So I'm so glad you guys are all here hanging out with us. I'm going to start off at my number 12, which I feel is the weakest link in the Friday the 13th franchise. And for me, that would be part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. There's a couple cool kills in it. I do like the sauna rock in the chest. I think that's great. I do like, Jason punching dude's head off. I think that's awesome. And I love the fact that
rock in the stomach and then it
Stop
ends
it.
up in the
Stop
chest.
it. I love how Kane Hodder actually absorbed all those blows. Like, he's sitting there taking every single one of those punches. He's a true stuntman.
Badass.
Yeah, he is. He's great. Not my favorite Jason, but Kane Hodder is amazing. But this movie, and I'm not, when I was young, I fucking loved this movie. Like, this movie was so cool to me. And like, even now, like when I watch it and I see the shot of Jason walking in the town finally, and those punks come up to him and he shows his face and they all run off. I love that shit, man.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I love
Why?
when Jason dumps the dude in the toxic waste. Like, I think that's so dope.
You can't beat that shot of him. You can't beat that shot of him in Times Square. And the biggest problem with this movie is that you don't get enough of that.
I agree.
Like, you don't utilize New York.
Totally agree.
But the director, I'm neglecting his name right now, but I know that he had a much bigger plan for this one.
Yeah.
And you can see the storyboards, I believe, on that massive box set that they put out. And his movie is the movie that we all wanted to see. It's so disappointing that we didn't get it.
Yeah.
But where this movie really loses me, because like I said, there are parts of this movie that I genuinely enjoy. But where this movie loses me is the dumb fucking kid all the time, like in the mirror. Or like when you have Jason in the sewer and they're dumping the toxic waste and he's like, "Mommy, help me." He's talking like a little kid. I don't know. Like, that's the stupidest shit I've ever seen. So
the sewers of New York City were very busy in the late 80s between the toxic waste Jason and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Exactly. Exactly. I was wondering if that's all that was, if that was just the ooze that was coming through. Jason was actually turning into one of the turtles. So,
I was waiting for the turtles to kick his ass.
They should have. After that bullshit movie we had to sit through. Right. So my number 12 is Jason Takes Manhattan. Something that I've said at the top that I should have said at the top. I'm sorry. Everybody knows this, so I probably shouldn't say it, but we don't know each other's lists. I don't know Ashley's, I don't know Mike's, I don't know Louie's, and they don't know mine. I think it's much more fun that way. So in case any of us have the same numbers, I just want everybody to know we don't know each other's lists. So would you like to give your number 12?
So my number 12 is also Jason Takes Manhattan.
Poser.
No, this fucking movie, like, what? It's just the characters, they're not memorable at all. Since when is Camp Crystal Lake attached to the Atlantic? Like, he just floats to the Atlantic and goes.
It's in New Jersey, though. They just took Camp Crystal Lake to the Atlantic Ocean and went up from New Jersey. That's how they got to New York.
Yeah.
And the kill where he's on the boat and he's trying to kill Susie, and it takes him like 25 minutes and she's just like wiggling around. She could have ran away from him in that time.
Yeah.
Like you said, when he's down in the sewer and he says, "Mommy,"
stupid,
and then he starts like vomiting all that water, and like when they throw that the sewage on him and his face is like the melty. It looks horrible. I just think this movie's boring. And even as a kid, like this was probably my least favorite.
I loved this movie as a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I did though. I genuinely loved this movie as a kid.
I do appreciate them trying to do something different and get him out of Camp Crystal Lake. We've already done that for 5 different ones. Let's do something different. But it didn't land for me.
No, and I get it. So how about you, Mike? What's your last place?
It goes to the 2009 remake. My least favorite Friday the 13th film. Even less than, spoiler alert, Friday the 13th Part 8 comes up real fast in this list after the remake. But so the remake, when I initially went and saw it, it's very cool. You're like, oh my God, I'm finally seeing another Friday the 13th movie. And, that opening really grabs you and it takes you and you're like, okay, we're going to get something cool and interesting and something imaginative. You're going to hear me say, take a shot every time you hear me say the word imaginative, because that's something that's going to come up with a lot of my favorite sequels in this one. But for this one, it just gets too dour, too fast. And it's almost like it was made by somebody who only had heard people describing what they think Friday the 13th movies were, not what an actual Friday the 13th movie is. From the unlikable characters, which really only comes around in part 7. It's 7 and 8 are the only two movies that truly I would say have kind of this, maybe, and 5, but I think that, it works in that one, which we'll get to. But the kids in parts 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're cool. They're friends. They're funny. You want to hang out with them. This one, like every person in this movie is a bigger shithead than the next. And I'm not a big fan of and it's a new trend now. This kind of beat the trend a little bit, kind of doing, well, this isn't a requel because it really kind of, it's trying to kickstart a new franchise, but it's kind of a cop out in the sense that they cram the whole first movie into the opening credits. You know, I don't, if you want to remake Friday the 13th, it's got to be his mother. That's a cheat.
Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates. And then, you know, it goes somewhere interesting and it doesn't. And it just becomes, I think, just another, it's very boring for, like, if you're going to do something like this, do something imaginative. But to my original point was, I don't like this idea of going back to the basics like they did with Halloween 2018 and what I know they'll try to do with Nightmare on Elm Street one day. And they'll try to do it Friday the 13th again. Why do I want to see a movie go back to the basics? Give me something imaginative. Give me Jason versus Carrie. Give me Jason Goes to Hell, which is probably higher on the list than most people for me, rather than just making another summer camp slasher.
Sure. And like I said, I respect it. Don't worry, Mike. There was one time in the 90s I was wrong too, so it can happen to everybody, buddy. But no, I do have mine a little bit higher, but like I said, I'll give my reasons for that as well. And I want to remind everybody, this is opinion. If we all came on here and gave the exact same list for every single one of us, these streams would be boring as shit. So I respect the fact that we're going to have different opinions. And that's why I love to have so many different people on so we can get those different opinions. So let's go to our buddy Louie, the Clintonville Slasher. What's your last place one, brother?
Well, I strongly disagree with all of you. The worst one. Number 12 for me is Part 1, 1980s, the very first movie. That movie is boring. It's slow, it's boring. You don't get any really good kills until the very end, and it's almost like it's like Halloween. I love Halloween, but it is slow, very slow, and so is this movie. It's terribly slow.
And that's fair. Like I said, that's completely fair. So before we move on to our number 11, I would like to catch up on the chat real quick. Ken's gonna cancel me with my we'll see, buddy. Sorry, but I'm gonna have to sleep soon. Hey, no, we love you too. I hope you have an amazing night. Thank you for even stopping in. For real, we appreciate you so much. Jason Takes Manhattan. There you are, Ken and Ashley. I missed a lot of internet issues. Oh no, it's okay. Jason Takes a Boat. I would have loved to see Jason break out that I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. Ashley's like, yeah, knock it off. Number 12, Jason Takes a Boat. All right, yeah, good night. If you do catch up on the replay, my chunky Jordy, we love you. We hope you have an amazing night. Thank you for even stopping in. It really seriously means a lot to us, for real. I did do the super chats. Jason is awesome. I completely agree. He could totally whoop Michael's ass.
Wow.
Why you always got to bring Michael into this?
I promise you.
I don't remember us talking anything about Michael tonight.
Yeah. You know why?
I brought it out.
We will do this at the end. We will say who our favorite Jason was.
I think you're obsessed with the guy. You always got to be talking about him.
How about you stop it?
No.
Stop it.
I will not stop it.
Hey. What's up, Podcast in the Woods? How you doing, Boomer?
How you doing?
Marshall. We're going to have a sit down and talk, my friend.
Yeah.
Push that like button, everyone. I saw all the F-13 movies except Jason X, so I'm starting with my number 11, Jason Goes to Hell. Starting at number 11 with Jason Goes to Hell. That is a risk, my friend. And that is a cancelable risk, my friend.
Get out of
here. Mike is pretty funny. I'm glad you think so, Dante. I do too. I'm very excited to have him here.
Thank you. Thank you. A lot of pressure. On me.
Robin, we're going to have a talk, guys. Love the hat, Ken. You're beautiful as always, Ash. I agree.
You.
I don't know. I don't even know if I could say that.
What?
I at least get entertained with Halloween Resurrection.
Nathan,
I can agree with that.
Wow.
Nathan Mills, yes, you're 100% right on.
I agree.
No.
Boomer, thank you. I'm glad that you're feeling better, buddy. I've been
Yeah,
thinking
that's
about
awesome.
you. And because of that donation, I'm going to offer you some damn enchiladas.
Ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby.
Thank you, buddy. For real, it means a lot. I saw, there he is, future filmmaker. My least favorite one is part 5, A New Beginning. No Jason, boring characters, not a good story. We'll talk about that because I have some opinions about that movie.
I do as well.
Yeah.
That-
Hey,
that
what's up,
was-
Dice? I hope you're feeling better, my
Hey,
friend.
Dice.
Hey, Katie. Thank you for
Hey,
stopping in.
Katie.
And yeah, Kathy Bates or Sarah Paulson as the remake
Ooh,
Mrs.
good
Voorhees
choice.
would be so dope, man.
Good
Yeah.
choices.
So dope.
Good choices. Sarah Paulson killed that role.
But it
Extra.
only works if the movie's only about her. There is no Jason until the final
I
actor
agree.
comes
Yeah.
out of the lake.
Yep.
Yep.
I do agree with
Or
that.
just do
The
or
original.
just do a sequel. Do something that takes place. Yeah, I don't
Or
know.
a prequel when
requel,
Mrs.
but-
Voorhees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do something different. For the love of God, please do something
Yeah.
different and imaginative with this series.
I completely agree.
Mhm.
I completely
Mhm.
agree. You
It-
got to do something
It
more
needs
fun.
something different.
Yeah.
All right. So we will now go to our number 11, and that will be you starting us off, love.
So my number 11 is Jason X. Jason in space. Why? It's as bad as freaking Leprechaun in space. I swear.
No, it fucking isn't.
I swear.
No, it fucking isn't. Leprechaun in space is a fucking. It's
So
disgusting. It's
the
despicable.
humor it's just like so wacky.
While
like
you're going, I'm gonna go be dad for a second, guys.
he's like it's the doctor. He's like, he just wants his mask, guys, and then he gets killed. Like, it's so silly to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's over the top silly. It looks cheap, but it had a higher budget. Like, I feel like it looks cheaper than some of the other ones. That
It looks like it was produced by Vivid, who did all the porno parodies in the 2000s.
Yeah, for sure. And it had one of the higher budgets from the first like 5.
Yeah.
I do, however, like the nanobots. I think that's pretty cool. And the nitrogen kill where he dumps her head in the nitrogen
that's
and then
amazing.
The nitrogen kill is the reason to watch that movie.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's the only
I
reason to watch
agree.
that movie.
And the opening with David Cronenberg.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, David Cronenberg is amazing. But I think that the liquid nitrogen kill is probably my favorite one in that movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand. Again, they're trying to do something different, but it just didn't land for me. So that's my number 11. I don't know where Ken went, so we'll just go on without him. If you want to give your number 11, Mike.
My number 11 is, and we've just talked about this movie, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Okay.
Trying to do something different, imagination, but just doesn't land. Poor Rob Hedden, because I really think the director and he was a writer on it, really wanted to do something cool. But overall, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the late era entries of this because, like I said, it starts to become almost like a parody of itself, but just not funny in the sense
Right.
that I would talk about the characters a lot, how this idea of when people who don't really know slasher movies, right, who haven't studied them the way we've studied them and watched them and loved them, they think that slasher movies are all just awful people getting killed by a villain that you're rooting for. And it's not necessarily what any of the Elm Street films were, any of the Friday the 13th films were, or any of the Halloween films were when they first started out. And eventually when they start becoming that, and it just feels like a cash grab, it's disappointing. So I don't want to rag on part 8 too much, but the kill with the boxer on the roof.
Oh,
very
yeah.
cool.
That's cool.
And what else? What was I going to say? Oh, that scene of him in Times Square. Like if the liquid nitrogen is the one part that you need to see from Jason X, the one thing you need to see from part 8 is the scene in Times Square.
Times Square.
Yeah.
Especially because you got the punk rock guys. I'm like, yes.
Well,
dude,
let me tell you something.
It
I
would
went
have
to
been cool if he would have just like slashed through them, though.
Yeah.
Like kill him,
Oh,
Jason.
pretty cooler.
And he could have gotten away with it in 1989
Right.
Times Square. Because I went to Times Square about 5-6 years ago. I was in New York hosting a screening of The Astrologer at the Nighthawk. And I went to Times Square. Let me tell you, Times Square is still disgusting, just for completely different reasons.
Oh yeah. When did we went at what? It was
4
before
years.
Kenley was born.
It's about
So
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, and all the characters and stuff just like cling to you and want money and want to take pictures with you, and it's like we don't want that.
We had a dude whip his dick out and start pissing right in front of my fucking 4-year-old daughter. I almost killed him.
That's the Times Square that you want, though. That's the Times Square we need, not the Hulk and everybody walking around. But I will say there was one character I did take a picture of. I don't know if you are familiar with the 60s, 70s Mexican television show Chapulín, Colorado. He was the inspiration for the Bumblebee Man on the set. And he's this guy in a red suit and he's got the heart on his shirt. I saw him and like he was trying to get away from me because I'm like, no, you got to get a picture with me. But then
you're like, I got money.
So I get the picture with him, right? And somebody else took a picture, one of the other characters, and she took I gave her like $20, right? Because she was looking for money. And then I look at the guy dressed as Chapulín, Colorado, and I'm like, she gonna split that with you, right? And he just looks at me with the most defeated look on his face, like, nah, no money for Chapulín. I'm like, all right, now you get $20. So I got a $40 pick, but it is great because it's a $40 video of Chapulín, Colorado hitting me in the nuts with a giant plastic hammer.
That's awesome.
And then
it was
money well spent. Right? Money well spent.
And then he walked away, and they ended up splitting the money anyway. And they were like, "Ha, idiot!"
laughing at that rube tourist from Chicago.
So, how about you, Louis? What's your number 11?
Okay, so my number 11 is also Jason X, because anytime you go to space, you've lost your franchise. That movie is horrific. The only good reason to watch that movie is the nitrogen kill and then the opening scene. But I read how much the money they had. They had a really high budget, and they made a piece of crap, a really big piece of crap. I was not impressed.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I was not a huge fan of Jason in Space either. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. To the point to where that's my number 11, Jason X.
Yeah.
Oh, poser.
But I will say, you sit me down and I have to choose between Jason X or Leprechaun in Space. I'm taking Jason X every time.
I agree.
Listen, Leprechaun in Space says
the Detroit.
Yeah, they talk about Detroit and Leprechaun in Space and how much of a shithole it is. So fuck that movie, man. That's my city. I rep my city.
What did they
okay.
Say?
Oh, it could have been worse. I've been to Detroit.
Yeah,
you could eat a
it's
dick.
like,
I'm done.
You're part of Leprechaun in Space.
Yeah, don't talk about my city.
Shit about Detroit.
We've won the World Series in '68 and '84. We're about to do it again. Okay, so fuck you. Okay?
About time.
We're not doing it this year.
I was gonna say probably not even.
But like everybody has said, obviously the liquid nitrogen kill is dope. Like that's so dope.
Yeah.
And I, unlike Ashley, I do like some of the stupid comedy.
It's so silly,
guys. It's all right. He just wants his machete back. Like that made me laugh.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
it really did make me laugh. I didn't like when he turned into like a fucking spider. Like that was a little much for me. But my biggest problem.
Are cool.
I like Space Jason. I like how he looks. He looks tough. Like he looks badass.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing for me is just how fucking like HBO, not even HBO, like
it's vivid.
Fox 36 graphics this had, man. Like it looked like the graphics looked bad. And like I'm not a huge person on shitting on CGI. It is what it is. But this movie, the CGI was dog shit. Like it was really bad. So coming in at number 11 for me is Jason X. So we will catch up on the chat real quick before we go back into our list. I'm glad you're doing better. I can't wait for your new content. I hope to be able to have you back on the channel soon or be on your channel. We got some making up to do. So Ashley and I can't wait to join you again. Man, I am not digging all this part 5 hate, man. I'm not digging it. Jason Goes to Hell, still getting some hate.
You're not digging the part 5 hate?
No, I'm not. Jason Goes to Hell. What the fuck, guys?
They're gonna get an earful later.
Right.
Oh, trust me. Oh, Jason is 100% a Deadite, and that's confirmed in Jason Goes to Hell.
Absolutely,
Yep.
it's confirmed. I interviewed Adam Marcus when we showed Jason Goes to Hell at the Music Box of Horrors drive-in, and he confirmed it from God's mouth to my ears. He is a Deadite.
That's awesome.
I agree. I've had him on the channel as well. And one thing I got to say, and we'll talk about this more when we get to my Jason Goes to Hell. Adam Marcus is a saint. And he was given an impossible task with Jason Goes to Hell. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, but he was a first-time director manning a franchise, and he was given an impossible
he was super young too. He
Very
was
young.
like
Very young.
20 something, which is awesome.
Yeah. So, oh my God, really? A new beginning, Roy Burns.
Boo earns to you, Rob K. Boo earns.
Wow. Where's the cancel button?
Yeah, right. Oh, trust me, we'll be getting there. 11, the remake, Jason Goes to Hell, is bad.
Wow. Come on.
All right, number 11 is Friday 2. Very
Oh,
nice.
come on.
That's
no,
ridiculous.
you know what?
I don't even know.
I've got some things to say about that movie too. Hey, what's up, Ryan?
Hey, Ryan.
But again, guys, please give us shit too. Like, we're giving you shit in the chat. Give us shit for our list. Like, as long as
No,
please keep
not
it fun.
me.
Not Ashley. She's
Disagree
sensitive.
with me.
But just have fun with it. Don't be a shithead. A lot of canceling tonight. God, I love it when you can make the chat, J-Dev. We miss you when you're not here. We loved your Final Destination. Didn't see that coming. Oh, thank you so much.
Guys.
We're actually having a bit of issues with our next Didn't See That Coming. They're kind of being dicks to us right now for our September episode or our October episode, but we'll get there.
It happens. It happens.
The copyright gods are not being very kind to us with Halloween 3. Jason X over Leppy in space. Yes, thank you. Uber Jason is a badass. Buckle up for this list. Everyone can be a member of Sledgehammer Horror. Push that dollar amount on button and stream it. Join the family, guys. Here in the next, I'm telling you, here in the next couple of weeks, if you become a member, you're going to see Ashley and I doing a live table reading of the first feature film we're writing, The Ofrenda, and it's going to be pretty dope. We're very excited for you guys to see it. Oh, awesome! What'd you name your puppy?
That's cool.
He looked like a buff Power Ranger. Oh man, if he would have gotten if he would have gotten like if we could have got like a Zordon, I would have been so dope.
Kind of look like Zordon.
What was the Power Ranger that played the whistle? Yeah,
Tommy.
That would make
Tommy
Jason show up, right?
Yeah, right.
Is that the green one?
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to be the green one.
Yep. Hey,
yeah,
I love
well,
you
he's
all,
the green
but
one,
I
then
love
he
the
was the
first
white
Friday.
one.
I like I said, we'll talk about Friday 1 here before too long, but I respect it. But before we could talk about that, we got to eat some enchiladas, baby.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
Thank you, Tatum. I appreciate it.
Tatum.
Oh, guys, look, he's here. Peter, what's up, buddy? I brought it, man, just for you. I was waiting for you to get here so we can talk about it. We're talking about Peter's here. What's up, Sledge fam? Keep up the great work. Thank you for your donation, and we'll get to some enchiladas here in a second. But we did not include any of the fan films. But I can genuinely say I love a lot of the Halloween fan films. I really do. And, you know, Peter's Vengeance, I think, is great. Roseblood is probably my favorite. This mask is from Roseblood. It's got the autographs on it. I'm a huge Roseblood fan. If you have not seen Roseblood, the Friday the 13th fan film, you could check that out here on YouTube, and I cannot recommend it enough. It is one of my favorite fan films, not just Friday the 13th, but favorite fan films of all time. And it was such an honor to be able to get some of these amazing things. And make sure you're checking out Roseblood, guys. It is for real dope as shit. So right here,
Drop me the
Roseblood
link.
is awesome. Yep.
I haven't seen it.
Tatum, if you could do that, because Tatum's really good at that. If you could put the link to Friday the 13th Roseblood, the fan film, if you could put that in, it's a direct continuation of Friday the 13th Part 7. And Lar Park Lincoln comes back to reprise her role in the fan film. It's fucking so good, man.
Yeah.
And you may see a crazy shape in the movie too. So make sure you guys are watching Roseblood after this stream. But before you can get there, we have to finish the stream. And we can't get back to the stream because we got a donation.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
I'm gonna make you guys sing that all night. So please,
My
somebody
ringtone.
put that down in the stream, in the chat. Because if you haven't seen Roseblood, click that link real quick, put it in your watch later, or add it to a playlist. make sure you watch it. Not for me, not for Peter, but for yourself. If you're a fan of Friday the 13th, these guys do it for their love of the film. They're not doing it for the money. They're doing it because Peter is one of the biggest fucking fans of Friday the 13th I've ever met. And he's one of the sweetest, nicest guys in the world, but he's a fucking tank. So make sure you guys are checking that out. Yes, please check out Roseblood. Roseblood is good. It is so good. John, thank you so much, man.
John.
I don't want to get too personal, John, but how's your dad doing? We would all like to know after we eat these enchiladas.
Ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby.
Mike's head is going to explode off his fucking body if people keep donating.
Come on, you're not making me sing that song. I've been singing that song since I was 11 years old.
My ringtone.
There it is, guys. There it is right there. So make sure after the stream is over, you're checking out Roseblood. Add it to your watch later. Watch this movie. It's fucking great. So, Mike, would you like to lead us off with your number 10?
Number 10, we are at, here it is, Jason X. You know, again, I think I love the concept of sending a earthbound serial killer to space, or spree killer rather, more than anybody. I mean, I think a lot of people forget that it was John Carpenter's idea initially when they wanted him to come back for, I think, Halloween 6. And they said, only if I can send him to space. And they said, get out of here, you fucking old man. Get me away. And New Line was almost like they were reading Fangoria saying, fuck it, let's try it. Why not? Right. And I don't like the stupid humor. That's what kills the movie of Vivid's Jason X, because it looks like a Vivid production, as we discussed earlier. It looks like all the 2000s pornography that you were watching on I don't know, probably on DVD. It was probably still DVD back then, but it's this great concept. And I would blame, before I did the research for our show, and if you want to hear deeper thoughts on these films, definitely check out the Halloween season, in which we do 3-hour episodes on each one. And Jason X was one of the ones I was most hungover during, because I really just didn't care about this movie. But oh god, and now I've lost my train of thought. But my point, I was going to blame Todd. I was going to blame Todd Farmer for it, but when you watch the interviews, when you watch kind of the making of stuff on Camp Crystal Lake Memories, which is a great documentary, which any fan of the series should watch, Todd Farmer wanted to make the movie that I wanted to see, which was essentially Alien in space, or Alien in space, like Alien isn't in space, right? But make a Friday the 13th movie that was Alien, a little bit darker, a little bit dingier, you know, with that kind of more lived-in vibe of the sets instead of the ultra cheesy, LED lit ones that we got. But you can't deny that nitrogen kill. I'm not a big fan of Uber Jason. Somebody put it like he looks like a Power Ranger, and that's pretty right on. The android character just suffers from too much of that the badass problems, where they have to like make a character like so badass that it's almost borderline annoying. You can almost hear the catchphrases and quips like coming out before she even gets to utter them. Although she is a stone cold fox, no doubt about that. Also, a weird bit of kink shaming in there that I don't like. I don't want to sound like I want to talk about like problematic or anything, but it's like I don't like when kink is played for laughs, and it doesn't feel authentic to me. I don't know. It's a weird thing with me. It's a weird hang up. It's a weird hang up to have about a movie where a boy who drowned in the river 40 years ago, or the lake 40 years ago, is now on a spaceship. But it is something that I took issue with. But yeah, Jason.
Well, I mean, that's what I love. I love the fact that you're completely genuine.
Like Vivid's Jason X, not a fan.
Yeah.
Okay. So how about you, Louis? What's your number 10?
Well, number 10 is Jason Goes to Hell. I loved the opening. I'm getting canceled. I love the opening. I really did love the opening, but the rest of the movie is horrible. I was bored until the end. I was bored until the end. The ending was awesome.
Just kidding. I'm a liar.
I mean, the beginning was great. I love the beginning opening scenes. I love the entire thing, and I love the ending because they set it up so well for Freddy versus Jason. And then we waited like 15 years for that movie, but that movie was just like between the beginning and the end was just boring. I couldn't get past it.
That's upsetting. So, I respect it. My number 10. I'm going with the OG. I'm going Friday 1.
What? Wow.
Yeah. That's my number 10. And it has nothing to do, like, when I tell this to people, they're like, oh, what? Because it's a woman and it's not Jason? No, it has nothing to do with that. I think that number one is it is a good movie. And I'll say everything from here on, Manhattan and X are the only two I don't like. Like, if I did a marathon and I skipped those two, it would not bother me whatsoever. I like the OG, but there's just so many things about the other ones I like better. Like this one, obviously, you have the obvious Kevin Bacon kill, but like strip Monopoly, what?
But that is a point that people seem to miss when they're making a list of movies. People are like, oh my God, how do you not like that one? It's like, well, no, there's only 12 movies. Like something's got to be on the bottom half,
somewhere.
guys.
Yeah, right. And like I said, Friday the 13th is one of my favorite franchises. I like Child's Play and Scream more. I might even put Poltergeist above it. But Friday the 13th is up there. Like, I love this franchise. So this was probably one of the harder franchises for me to rank, and it could change every single day. But I just, like you said, you got to put it somewhere, and there's just not enough of a stranglehold on it to put it above the ones that are above it. So coming in at number 10 for me is the OG Friday the 13th.
Okay, so number 10 for me is The New Beginning, Part 5. This movie is so, like, it's a freaking porno. Like, the director, Danny Steinman, he's so sleazy. Like, he cared more about, like, big boobies in this movie than he did anything else, about any character development or anything, I swear. Some of the characters are just crazy. Like that old lady that's always swearing at her son.
I'm not with you for your character. I'll tell you that.
You're not with me for my character?
No, it's those big boobies.
I have a good character. I think.
You have better boobies. I'm kidding, everybody. We have not been married for 17 years because of her boobs. It's just like a welcome.
Oh, wait, we haven't? We haven't?
Did you break out the slide whistle? That's fucking great.
So,
man.
Throw in a bunch of more, like, more of the same really horny teenagers that Jason goes around and kills. Demon, however, he is the highlight of this movie, in my opinion. You know, those damn enchiladas. Mm-hmm. He's amazing. I love him. Eddie's kill with the strap around his head and he tightens it with the stick. That's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love that kill. But like Pam, the final girl, what?
Okay, guys, we got to pause for a second. My mother-in-law just heard me talk about your boobies.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Amy.
Womp, womp.
Please understand.
You better be good.
Please, yeah. Now I gotta straighten
be an awkward Thanksgiving dinner.
Yep. Listen, that's my mom now. Okay, like Amy is my mom, so I'm comfortable saying these things to her through a computer, but not in person. She'd fucking murder me.
Right.
But sorry, Amy. I do love her for her personality. That's good too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, canceled. Cancel yourself.
Yeah, where's your cancel button?
It's the button right now.
I'll just shut up.
You're just digging yourself.
Yeah, I'll just shut up.
Oh, man, you are in trouble.
Tommy at the end is a killer, like that part.
Oh, when he's in the hospital.
Yeah, I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my number 10.
Okay. All right, guys. Before we go on, we will catch up with the chat. Where do we stop? Oh, I agree with you, Marsh. T. Parker, that's a controversial take, but I'll take it. 10, Jason Goes to Hell, silly, guilty, pleasure, fun, and I love the ending with Freddy's glove. Mm-hmm. Same. Part 2, hot take, but part 2 is love Ginny and the film in general, but it's better paced. Yeah, I couldn't see that. Jason Goes to Hell, some bitch, man. Creighton Duke is awesome.
All these people who are saying they don't like Jason Goes to Hell have never actually watched it. I'm convinced.
I've never seen it. I've only seen the beginning and the end. I have no idea what the rest is about.
For matching my number 10, Duke was the best part in Jason Goes to Hell easily. I thought we had a super chat in here, but I don't know where it went. I'm sorry, baby. I see John. Yeah, but we had a super chat, and I don't know where it went. Bummer.
I can just sing it.
Yeah, there you go. Demon and Reggie were the best characters in Friday 5.
Oh, yeah.
I can't tolerate I know, T. Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the shit. Sarah, I could feel the heat through the chat screen. She threw out my middle name, guys.
Yeah.
Like I
That means
glanced
you're in
over and
trouble.
Now you're
I seen
really
my
in
middle
trouble.
name and I was like, what? Who's that? And then I was like, oh shit. It's my mom. I'm in trouble, man.
Oops.
Everyone here is awesome. Thank you, Russell. We appreciate you, buddy. Hi, Amy. We gotta love Ken's jokes here. You guys are so funny and great people. Thank you.
Thank you.
For real. Thank you. Hearing stuff like that makes us extremely happy. I love you too. Thank you. Thank you for stopping in, Amy. For real. We love you, and I can't wait to see you this weekend. Oh, Tatum, you sent it. Well, thank you, Tatum. I don't know where it went. You're such an amazing member and subscriber, but on top of that, you're a better person. So thank you, Tatum, for always being here for us.
Absolutely.
And then we got 10, Jason X. So, all right, guys, we are all caught up. So that is Louis starting us off now with number 9.
Number 9 for me is Final Chapter. Oh, let's see. I made some notes here. Final Chapter, the acting is really good. Yeah, I really like the acting. I really like the directing, and the kills are amazing. I think that Final Chapter is really good. That was one of my favorites.
That's a huge risk putting that at number 9, but
Why?
I get it, man.
Yeah, what don't you like about it?
Not too much. I mean, I just like the other ones better.
There you go. Yeah, that's the
just my personal preference. You know, it's not my least
it.
favorite, but it's not my favorite. But I still really enjoy it.
I agree with you. Like, and I was gonna say that just now, like when we're getting into my number 9, like my number 9 through like my number 5 could be interchangeable at any point. Like these ones were the ones that, like I said, you just, you threw it in here, you threw it in there, you threw it in here just because you have to have them somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely my number 9 through 5, my Dolly Partons here, they could definitely be interchangeable at any time. So my number 9 is part 2. I do have it quite low on the list, I know. But I do think this is one of the slower ones. The two things that really saved this movie for me are the machete, with the wheelchair. I don't care what anybody says. Like
that is so
great.
That it's
Just
so
because
good.
brutal.
It's so mean. It's so mean.
So brutal. There's so many.
Because you're rooting.
He's
you're
just
rooting
about to
for
get
Mark.
laid. He's so
Yeah,
he's almost
you were rooting
there.
for him the whole time. You were like, "Yeah, Mark, you're gonna, you didn't get the girl." And then, nope, he comes out in the rain, and he's already in a wheelchair. Like, what an asshole! And then
Jason
machete
is such a
in the
cockblock,
face.
man.
He is.
I know. What the? At least let him get to first base if you whack his face in half.
If you watch,
Jason did it, and he was like, "Bitch, you thought."
Right.
And if you watch the kill closely, I believe, I could be making this up, but it looks like Jason actually hits him with the dull end of the machete. So he's making it even worse.
You're right.
Do you know why they did
the
that?
flight down the stairs.
I assumed it was like a special effects thing.
He slits a lot of throats with the dull end of the shit.
The reason he uses that is because the way that they had the molding, because that was really the guy sitting there, and they really hit him in the face. But
Wow.
the way that the mold was on his face, it was so hard. But they were worried that if they did it with the sharp end, that it might actually go through. So they used the reverse end, so it would be enough force to stick in there, but not cut all the way through. Like, and hearing that, like, that made me gain a whole new level of respect for that kill. And then the roll, that's really, like, it looks like a dummy. That's him sitting in the chair
going
for
down
the
the
roll
stairs.
down. Yes,
That's
that is
cool.
him. If you guys get the chance to get it, the Friday the 13th whole box set, get it and watch the special features. You'll learn a lot about these movies, and it will make you gain a whole new respect for
Shout
them.
Factory set was impressive that they got all of them in one set because of the whole New Line versus Paramount thing. Really great, really nice restoration on Jason Goes to Hell.
Yes, which we'll talk about in the future. But the other thing that I really like about this movie is Ginny. I think that Ginny is probably my favorite final girl in the whole franchise. I love how they really develop her character, that she works with kids, and she's not just a meat bag. And Friday the 13th, I will say, more than probably any other franchise, a lot of the main characters are just meat bags you don't give a shit about. You genuinely care about Ginny,
especially on that back half.
Yes. And she
I like her
uses
from
that
the very
psychology
start.
when she actually gets, Jason, you listen to mother. Like, she uses, she's intelligent. And, this is a completely different subject that I could go into, but that's what I love about horror is even back then, they were making women powerful and smart.
Exactly.
It wasn't just a piece of ass.
Because we are not powerful or smart.
That's not what I'm saying. Don't do that.
I'm just kidding.
But like, they made it so that these women were the ones that were kicking ass, at a time where they were pushing for inclusion all over the place. Horror was making it fucking happen just like it is today. So,
well, yeah, I
will
think
say
that's a misconception about these movies that, that it is just, half naked co-eds running around getting killed, because Jason 9 times out of 10 is defeated by a strong female lead.
Exactly.
Or a little boy.
Or a little boy that cuts his hair.
Yep. So I love that. I love that about the Friday the 13th franchise. So my number 9 is Friday the 13th Part 2. What about you, my love?
Mine is Jason Goes to Hell.
Fucking done.
I knew it. I knew it.
Done.
Sit your butt down and listen. So this movie, like, there's just so much going on. Like, Jason has a half sister, and they have like a family home, because I guess Michael has a home and Freddie has a home. So I guess Jason needs his own home too, right? I don't know.
Where did this sister come from? I don't know.
Yeah, he has a half sister, and the only people that can kill him are like other Voorheeses.
He's been coming back, hasn't he?
Yeah, but
because he has been killed by a Voorhees.
Well, that was
look. The proof's in the pudding. It's right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. The effects are pretty good. I will give it that. The effects in the movie.
One of the few movies where I actually prefer the director's cut to the theatrical.
Yeah.
Usually I prefer the theatrical cuts because the director's cuts just get way too rapey, but I really, really like the director's cut of this film, and we'll get to that in the very late future.
I mean, I love that the Necronomicon is in it. That's awesome. And obviously the ending where you get, Freddy's his hand coming up and taking the mask. That's fucking awesome. And I love that, even though it took them 15 years to finally create Freddy versus Jason. Like, I know that that probably made everyone freak out. I know it did you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It made me freak out.
There's some highlights to it, but it's on the lower end for me.
Well, at least you don't have it in last place.
This is true.
How about you, Mike? What's your number 9?
Gotta go with Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. The whole back half of this series just loses me. And it's unfortunate because this is one I think that does try to inject some imagination into the series by having, Jason take on Carrie. I think that's just a great concept. And I just don't think I'm a big fan of John Carl Buechler, the director of this one. He did a lot of stuff for Empire Pictures. He did a lot of special effects work on movies like Mausoleum, the Ghoulies films. He directed Troll, Cellar Dweller. And I think that I think he's just not the director for this series. I think he's better when you're dealing with creepy crawlies and monster movie stuff.
Sure.
When you put him in here, I just feel like he's out of his element. Like, I know there was a movie they didn't even want Jason to have the mask in this one. And I think I don't really like the design of Jason in this one. I think it's just ugly from like an aesthetic point of view. Everything's very bright. There's no ambiance. There's no mood to it. And again, this is where you start getting into, this is post Part 6. So this is where you really start getting into like creating characters that are so unlikable that now you're rooting for Jason, which I think is a cop-out. I think that's a cheat when it comes to slasher movies most of the time. I think one place where it really works is Sleepaway Camp, because fuck them kids. Everybody in Sleepaway Camp deserves to die. And that's why I find Angela to be more of a sympathetic character than a villain.
You're rooting for.
That's why we're sending our kids to Sleepaway Camp Airwhack next year.
And this is the introduction as Kane Hodder as Jason, who, as a kid, everybody called Kane Hodder your favorite Jason because it was the only guy whose name you knew.
Right.
But ultimately, I don't think he's a great Jason because he's more of a stuntman. He's not an actor. I know no Kane Hodder slander here. I think he's a terrific stuntman. And I think there is some great stuff he does in the series, but I was never blown away by him as Jason, except in one movie that we will talk about in the near future. Yeah.
I will say that Kane Hodder is a very likable guy. When you meet him, you're just like, it's almost infatuated just because he's such a great guy. But I agree with you. He's not my favorite Jason. So spoiler alert when we get there.
I mean, I like that he will do just about anything to make it look good. Like, I like that.
He takes every risk.
Yeah,
for sure.
He does.
All right, guys. So we will catch up on the chat real quick. Middle names only serve one purpose: to let you know you're fucked.
Yeah.
100%.
What I call my son is the same thing.
Kenny Ray.
Kenny Ray.
Yep. When I hear that, my butthole clenches when I hear Kenny Ray. 9, Friday the 13th, Part 3. I don't like the acting by the female lead Chris, and the goofy biker gang really does nothing.
You don't like the biker gang?
And Asher should be a
Wow,
scream queen.
dude.
I agree. Wait until if you guys remembers, wait until here in a couple weeks when you get the first draft of the first part of the Ofrenda. I think you guys are really gonna dig it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, Freddy vs. Jason. CGI blood was bad.
I would agree with that. A lot of the CGI in that movie is bad.
We love you too, buddy. Hey, Danae. Oh,
hey.
2 days and we will be together. I can't wait to see you. Part 7. It's a good premise, but not very well executed. I'm canceled again. Jason X at number 9. Not a big fan of this movie, but Jason is awesome and the kills are solid. Jason X, definitely not a go, but I will have fun with it. I can't even have fun with it, man. Friday the 13th 3.
The nitrogen oxide or the freezing kill. That's it. That's part of that movie.
Absolutely.
Oh, we got another one having Friday the remake down here.
No, I thought he was saying Friday. I thought he was saying.
I didn't like the one where they were in the hood and they had that big Debo guy with Jason without his mask. That one, I wasn't a fan of that one.
That was a weird movie.
Right. They had ham, no burger. It just wasn't for me. Carrie versus
I would have loved to see Johnny Witherspoon encounter Jason Voorhees.
Oh,
that
God.
That would have been. You could just made that movie, and I would have been fine with that. That's a short.
He just attacks him with air freshener. Yeah. Shit, make you want to slap yo, Jason. The puppy's name is Billy. That's awesome. Team Ginny forever. Oh, it is expensive, man, but it's worth it, Joshua. If you can save the money, I promise you it's worth it, buddy.
I love Ginny.
Ken, you broke my heart with 2 so low. I'm so sorry, D. Like I said, it's interchangeable. 9 through 5 could be interchangeable at any moment. Ginny is definitely one of the best final girls. What's up, Cal?
Hey.
Dice, I've been wanting to get a puppy. I'm so glad you got your puppy. That's awesome. Love the later Fridays. I returned to 7 and 8 the most. The New Blood was the darkest Friday the 13th in some aspects. I agree. I agree with this too. Make sure you push that like button. Mm-hmm. We appreciate it. Friday the 13th, the New Blood, but it does have that awesome sleeping bag kill. One of my favorites. Yep. Please sub to these guys right here. Make sure you're clicking there and subscribing to the guys. Yes, we will unite. Can't wait. Hey, what's up, Michael? Nice to see you, buddy. King can't be the best Jason. He came in the worst Friday movies. Oh man.
Yeah, maybe awesome. If it got put in better movies, he would have been a better Jason.
He was easily the best part of 8 and 10. Easily the best part of those movies. And we'll talk about something really dope he did here in a little bit, but I agree with that. So we are up to number 8, and that is me starting us off. And I am going with a movie that I was so amped for. I was so excited for it. I waited 15 years for it to ruin my Christmas, and that was Freddy versus Jason. Now, let me say something right here off the top. I like this movie. I really, really like this movie, but it's not fair. I've said this before on the podcast, and people have heard me. This movie could have been Freddy and Jason sitting in a military-style bathroom where the toilets are right next to each other, staring at each other for an hour and a half while they were taking a shit, and I would have watched intently for that whole hour and a half because it's my childhood. That was my first huge crossover. You know, when I seen Freddy versus Jason was coming. Again, we'll get way more in depth with that, but there's just so much about this movie that just is not good. The CGI in this movie is fucking horrendous. Like, it's bad. Like that little worm Freddy that jumps into Jay from Jay and Silent Bob's mouth and fucking gets him, and then they cut him in half, and you got the CGI blood that's just really, really bad looking. Yeah. As much as I wanted to like fucking love this movie, I didn't. I like it. I can watch it. The soundtrack is dope. Like the soundtrack is so good.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah. But overall, it's not a very good movie, but it does have like one of my favorite kills when Jason kills that douchebag boyfriend. You know, when he
Oh,
stabs
yeah.
him on the bed and then folds him in half. I've
Yep.
never been so happy to watch a piece of shit die in my life. Like, don't touch
Right.
me afterwards, babe. You know, I don't like that. Like, fuck you. Who the fuck? Oh, I don't like when people talk to women like that.
Stick
Even
like
in movies, I'm
cigarettes,
like,
babe.
yeah, you piece of shit. Talk to
Yeah.
my daughter like that, motherfucker. But yeah, so number 8 for me is Freddy versus Jason.
Number 8 for me is The New Blood, Part 7. Yeah, where are you going?
I need to go get my charger. My phone's about to
Oh.
die.
So the highlight for me is Tina, Larpar Lincoln. I do like how they tried to do the whole Jason versus Carrie, because we obviously weren't getting Jason versus Freddy anytime soon. So we had to do the, next best thing, and how she like psychically brought him back. His look from being like down in the lake, and how, you can see like his ribs, and I like his look. I think his look's pretty cool. It wasn't as gory as I would like. I feel like a lot of it got cut out, so it wasn't as gory. And I like gore. Like that's my
That's her thing.
Yeah, for sure. And then, this is where we get Kane Hodder, and he may not be everybody's favorite, but I like that he will take it to the next level and do whatever it needs to be done, no matter if it's going to put him in a dangerous situation. He's going to get, the shot. So
Yeah.
I like Kane Hodder. So that is my number 8.
Nice.
All right, so how about you, Mike? What comes in number 8 for you?
I'm with you on this one. Freddy versus Jason. I don't know how old everybody on the show is, but I'm 42. So Freddy versus Jason was a long time coming. So I remember going Friday night after work back when I was selling mattresses, and I'm sitting in the theater, and you're just kind of jazzed, and that New Line logo comes on, and you hear the with the Elm Street music, and you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah,
Here
dude.
it is. Finally. And overall, it's fine. I think they were smart to lean into making it. It's more of an Elm Street movie than a Friday the 13th movie. If you like, that's a good question, I think, to ask when we discuss this one. If you had to choose one, is this a Freddy movie or a Jason movie? I think it's an Elm Street movie.
Totally a Nightmare on Elm
It's
Street.
an Elm Street movie.
I think
Yeah.
Jason has better kills. Like, he gets more of a kill count in it, but Freddy is like the mastermind for sure.
Freddy's definitely the main.
It starts
character in
off
the
with
movie,
his
where
story
Jason is
too,
the-
so it's all
yeah.
And I like
Yeah.
that they do, like, they figure out a way to make Jason kind of an anti-hero, because he sort of is,
right.
Yeah.
He never really asked for this, I guess.
Right.
And Freddy did. And
He also kills that rapist.
Yeah, he does.
It's true.
In the
I just
yeah,
searched
that
the
party.
bowels of hell.
and
I'm just saying that, like,
we consider a Monday morning quarterback all night about, like, what would have been like had it come out in 88 instead of A New Blood. What would it have been like if
Right.
it came out Jason Goes to Hell? And just because of my love of aesthetics from that era, I probably, either one of those movies, I think they could have been better, but maybe they wouldn't be. Maybe this is the best movie we were going to get with Freddy versus Jason. And it's a lot to shoehorn in, and they figure it out, and they do it all pretty much without retconning any of the other films out of the series, I think. Like, this kind of builds off of, you could even say this is building off of Jason Goes to Hell. That incorporates that into the mythos. If there's any problems I really have with it, is that it still feels too much like it's early 2000s hangover from the teen slasher cycle of the 90s, which I absolutely love Scream, and really don't like a lot of the movies that came as a result of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like your urban
Agreed.
legends and that stuff. So yeah, but I mean,
I know what you
it's
mean.
still, it's infinitely more entertaining than, part 7, part 8. And I think if you're talking about in realms of imaginative Friday the 13th entries, it definitely, at least I don't think it makes fun of the villains the way Jason X does. Jason X is trying too hard to kind of
Yeah.
take the piss out of the series. I think there's a certain reverence for the series that I appreciate. And you get Robert Englund, who is no one will ever replace him. You can never,
Yeah.
you can't do a Freddy movie without him. I firmly believe that.
Well, another thing about Freddy versus Jason is the original draft of that script was those two meeting up in hell and the devil sending them back to Earth to see who could kill the most for the devil. So, I mean, this movie could have been a fuckload worse. I'm just saying.
There's so many ideas. There's the one where I think Jason's on trial. There's all sorts of those.
Trial.
And yeah, if this could maybe this was all we were meant to get.
Yeah.
Freddie walks in as his lawyer. Welcome to prime time, bitch. The
That's
people
the name
versus
of
Freddy
his law
Krueger.
firm is Prime Time.
So how about you, Louie? What comes in at number 8 for you, brother?
So number 8 is a New Blood, and for many reasons. One, Kane Hodder is my favorite Jason. I don't know what's wrong with the rest of you, but you get some of the greatest kills out of the one. The sleeping bag kill, the way Jason looks is amazing. This movie is like literally one of my favorite movies of all time. I have it kind of low on my list because there's other ones that I like better, but this one is really good. I really like this one. For many, many reasons.
I haven't talked about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously it's up there for me as well. So let's catch up on the chat real quick. J-Dev, what the hell, man? What the hell, J-Dev?
Dude.
I don't know. Kane was in one masterpiece. I agree. And I haven't talked about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, Friday 09. Freddy vs. Jason, I'm with you, Ken. I really enjoyed it, but it could have been better. Freddy vs. Jason was good, and it was.
It could have been worse.
A New Blood, Jason vs. Carrie was fun. Everything else I wasn't a fan of.
Yeah.
She loves our list. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jason Goes to Hell. I like the cinematography. I like it a lot higher than 8. Freddy vs. Jason could have been directed by someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, the remake. Number 8, Freddy vs. Jason. This is one pissed off goalie. That's fucking awesome, man. Come on. Friday 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. The darkest. Jason has the best. Yeah, I do love Jason's look in this movie, too.
Yeah. When I was a kid and I'm drawing Jason, like in school, like it was always the Part 7 look.
Yeah.
I was 8 when that came out. So that was like what Jason looked like.
Yeah, for sure. I do like his look.
Which is weird because now every time
awesome.
people do Jason fan art now, they always put the jacket on him, which is so funny because the jacket doesn't come around until Freddy vs. Jason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true because every time I see
I just like
Jason,
how his ribs are like
yeah.
you can see his ribs and
Yeah, it's so awesome. It looks so good.
Yeah. Ashley, you got canceled again.
Oh, what'd I do?
Who knows?
Anything.
Yeah, breathe. I like Tina from The New Blood.
She's not one of my favorite characters. I don't. Yeah, she just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
My favorite character in Part
you said,
7 is the Star Mummy, the writer.
Yeah.
King Tut rises from the tomb.
Freddy should have more kills. Kane Hodder wasn't in Freddy vs. Jason. No, he wasn't. But a buddy of mine, Douglas Tate, was, and I think that's awesome. He played Jason when Jason walked out of the water, and he played the Shape, Michael Myers, and he was one of the stuntmen that played him in Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills.
Nice.
So I'm like, dude, you got to be.
He's got to try
and Michael. You know?
Yeah.
He gets Freddy. He's got the trifecta.
Yeah, right.
We were talking about it, and he was like,
wait,
yeah, he's the one that pulled out.
Yeah,
yes.
so he got to hold his head.
Yes.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah, Douglas Tate. He's a great guy, and I was talking to him about it. He's like, the only regret I have is the fact that I had to play Michael because he's such a bitch. And I was like, dude, I get it. I get it.
Wow, that's not what he said. That's what he said.
Dude, and I'm telling you this, Tyler Mane is a huge dude. Like, he's huge, and he's beastly, and he's amazing, but this guy is the biggest teddy bear. Like, I was so stoked for the fact that I got to hang out with this guy. Man, I can't recommend you guys hang out. For those of you that don't know, Tyler Mane was Michael Myers in the Rob Zombie Halloweens. And he was also the dude that beat the shit out of Joe Dirt at the oil refinery in the first Joe Dirt movie. Fun fact. Great guy.
Joe with the apple, you can have some of that.
Yes, dude. Have access to EE Home. I don't know what that is, Tatum. Sorry, I'm an old man in this. I'm seriously old. Oh, Tatum, thank you. Ashley, will you do a stream with me on Halloween H2O?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, and this is something, guys, I want to talk about this now since this just popped up. And I'll talk about it right after our enchiladas.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
And I want to say this in the most genuine, nice way I possibly can. Me and Ashley love to be guests on people's shows, on people's streams, on people's podcasts, all we ask is just give us like a couple weeks notice, because we do have people that come on like, hey, you want to join me tonight? And we may have something planned, or we may be just doing something with our kids.
Plus, we work 40,
full-time,
50 hour.
Yeah.
Week,
so like we would like seriously, there's nothing we would love more than to be on people's podcasts and stream with people. All we ask is just please give us a little bit of notice, because we feel like such dickheads when we say no. Like it makes us feel bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, so just I know that she would do it, Tatum.
Yeah.
So set a date with us.
I work night shifts, so yeah.
Yeah, and she works thirds, and a lot of people stream at night. So just please give us a couple weeks so that way she can do it, because I would love to watch you guys. I think it would be an amazing time. So anybody that ever wants us to come on their channel or stream with them, we would love to. We would seriously adore it. We
love talking horror with everybody and anybody that will talk to us about it.
We're doing a stream not next week, but the week after with somebody, and they were like, hey, we were just really nervous to ask you. We've been wanting to do this for a long time. I'm like, dude, don't be nervous. Like, we want to work with you. Like, we're nervous whenever people ask us. Like,
it's weird when people are like we get that a lot on Halloweenies. We're like, would you come do this? Like, yeah, you know, like I don't know what they think's going on in my life. But again,
man,
the notice thing. It's like, yeah, like this. Look, I can talk about Friday the 13th off the top of my head, but like, I like to do my research. You know,
right.
I want to do my research, and like I said, we have a son that plays football. We have a daughter that's in dance class. I do, there's 7 days in a week, so I probably do 13 episodes of my first horror movie a week. You know, like we're constantly busy, constantly trying to turn out content to keep people happy and keep ourselves sane. And
plus, you know, spooky season is among us. So
October's the hardest month. September, October, so hard for us. But bottom line, if you guys ever want to stream with us, please let us know.
Yeah.
Please. We would love to do it. Just hit us up. Give us, hey, I'm going to do this in a couple of weeks. We'll be there. I promise. So thank you for inviting her. I know she would love to do it, Tatum. You're amazing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, thank you guys again. What are you do a live stream with Alex Scary? We just did a live stream with Alex Scary over on Craven Something Scary's channel, and I did my first horror movie with Brandon, and we were actually going to be seeing Brandon, so we will be live streaming with Brandon on Saturday live at Horror Hound. So make sure you guys we'll be live streaming on Saturday while we're at Horror Hound. Shout out Kenny.
All right.
Hi.
What up, Kenny?
Yeah. My birthday is October 18th. Happy birthday. Hope it's perfect.
Yeah. And our anniversary is in October as well. So
I just remembered that.
Oh,
I can't wait for November. All right, guys. So
wait, what?
I was saying I want to skip our anniversary. I'm kidding.
That's messed up.
All right, Mike, you got a place for me to crash tonight?
Yeah.
No.
You can.
No.
All right, guys, we will get into our number 7 now. Babe, would you like to start us off with your number 7?
Yeah. So my number 7 is part 2, actually.
Oh, it's up there.
Yeah. So I hate pillowcase, Jason.
I remember you saying that.
It looks
when we were watching
so
it.
silly. Like that's all they could come up with. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Jenny is probably my favorite final girl. I don't hate this movie. I just like the ones above it more. Like there's a lot that I like. Like you talked about how she is a psychology major and she's super smart. And, she says what she says to Jason to get him to stop. And I think that's smart. I think that's awesome. Other than that, I don't really have a lot of negatives to say about it.
And that's fair enough.
Yeah, besides the pillowcase mask, and why is there only one whole eye hole? Like, why not 2? Like, that sucks.
I think his other eye is all fucked up anyway. I don't think he was ever able to see out of that one.
He can't see out of that eye.
See, for me, every time I see that, do you remember that song? And I don't remember who sang it, but it was like, "Look at me, my depth perception must be off again because this hurts deeper than I thought it did."
That was for Jason.
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah,
I feel bad for his depth perception, man.
Well, who was that, Jason?
I don't know.
That is either Warrington Gillette or Steve Dash, depending on who you.
I think it's Dash.
Yeah,
I think Warrington Gillette only plays him when the mask is off at the end.
Oh,
okay.
I watched something how it was really hard for him to see out of it, and he fell down a hill and got hurt from the mask. Because
that's not good.
No.
I'm trying to look it up right now. Well, while I'm looking it up, Mike, do you want to give us yours? It was Warrington Gillette, by the way.
Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. This is kind of like, I put this right in the middle because this kind of is where the series kind of shifts for me a little bit. I really like that front half of the series, and then the back half is touch and go. But I do like this movie. This was actually, I think, the second Friday the 13th movie I've ever seen, which is funny because I always tell the story. We watched this one. This is the first one I've ever saw. Me and my mom, my sister watched on Showtime, and we're like, oh man, it wasn't Jason. Fuck. Well, let's go get the first one. And we were like, oh fuck, it wasn't Jason. Is Jason in any of these movies? You've been hearing about him for years, but I like Part 5 for its sleaziness. You talked about Danny Steinman earlier, aka Danny Stone, and he did come from pornography. He directed a film called High Rise from the early 70s, which star Harry Reams calls one of his favorite films that he ever worked on. I would say if you're into the adult cinema thing, as I am, High Rise is definitely one worth checking out. And I kind of like the meanness and the nastiness of this one, but it is where they start to look cheap. And it is where they start leaning into that, creating these characters that you're supposed to be rooting for the killer to kill. Because in a weird way, it's almost like these characters remind me of like characters in a John Waters movie, but Danny Steinman doesn't have like the adoration and the love that John Waters has for the, this crew of weirdos that he has. Danny Steinman's almost sitting there and kind of laughing at him saying, look how ugly these people are. Look how weird these people are. Like, but the characters are very memorable in this movie. And one of my favorite touches that I think goes a long way, because this shows at least a little bit of care on the part of the filmmakers, is that whenever Jason is seen in Tommy's head in the flashbacks, he's always in the two-piece from Part 3, the shirt and pants with the red markings on the mask. And whenever it's Roy, he's in one-piece coveralls with the blue markings. Like, you didn't have to do that, because they weren't planning on people talking about this for 2 hours on a podcast when you're releasing it in 1985.
Right.
But I do think that shows a little bit of care on the filmmaker's part, maybe even a little bit more than Friday the 13th Part 5 deserves, which is, from what I've heard when we talked about it with Tommy McLaughlin, director of Part 6 for the Halloweenies podcast, is Quentin Tarantino's favorite Friday the 13th, because according to him, this is what a Friday the 13th movie should be.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah,
I do, because obviously I haven't talked about that movie yet. So trust me, we will be getting there. But before that, Louis, you want to give us your number 7?
My number 7 is also A New Beginning. I love this movie from start to end. You got Corey Feldman in it, and I love the ending where Jason gets killed. He gets the machete in the side of the face, and then he slides down. It looked really good. I really enjoyed this movie, and I think this is one of the very first ones I ever saw as well.
Okay.
I can remember this being like really little, seeing this one first before I saw the other ones.
Yeah.
That's so dope, man.
Yeah.
And like I said, we will get into that. But my number 7 is number 7. And the big thing with this is there's like, listen, she killed her dad because he was beating her mom. Why'd you want to bring him back? Like, why would you want to bring back the guy that was beating up your mom? Like, I get he's your dad, but you beat up your mom, man. Like,
I think you did a good job. Yeah.
Yeah. But the Carrie versus Jason aspect I thought was really cool. I thought it was awesome to watch him meet his match. I thought Laura Park Lincoln was great in the role.
Yeah, I did too.
So I mean, there's a lot to love about it. Kane Hodder goes through hell in this movie. The stair fall alone. You watch it and you're like, oh my god, damn, that had to hurt. The sleeping bag kill is so dope. Like, I love that kill so much. So there's not a lot of bad I can say about this movie, but there's not a lot of great I can say about it either. That's why it's pretty close to the middle of the list, just because that's where it is to me. It's a middle of the road movie. I can watch it if it's on. If it's not, I don't have to. But I get to watch Jason get hit in the head with a fucking potted plant.
Right.
That's so dope, man. Like, I
cool.
like this movie a lot. So that's my number 7. And now we'll catch up on the chat real quick. We will be in November, Robin. I like the idea. We're going to be doing a stream talking about the lack of physical media in stores nowadays and why you should still be going with physical media rather than streaming, especially if you really enjoy something. And we'll be doing that in November, Robin. Just right now, like I said, with spooky season in October, we're pretty booked for the next month. we tried to book this month a couple months in advance because we know that people get really, really busy this time of year in the horror world. So probably the beginning of November, we'll be doing that one when it's getting right around, Thanksgiving, Christmas time, Black Friday type stuff when people are talking about shopping. Yes, he absolutely could. Tommy Jarvis absolutely could come back. I want to remind you guys, watch Roseblood. Watch Roseblood tonight. Number 7, Freddy vs. Jason. This used to be a lot higher, but Jason is not afraid of water. Thank you.
Yes.
Motherfucker comes out of the water in every movie ever.
Doesn't mean he likes it.
Yeah, but
I mean, he did drown in it.
did you let him know? Nathan, did you let him know? What happened?
I'm lost.
Yeah. You shall be sleeping on the couch, Sledgehammer Horror, and Amy is going to smother you in your sleep. Thank God she's a little bit away. Man, we got more. Part 5. Freddy vs. Jason. Jason X. Wow. I like that you had this so high. Oh, Nathan's a member now. Hey, why didn't it show up on here? Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, thank you so much, Tatum. That was so sweet. Well, we got a new member, guys. So
didn't see it coming, did you?
I didn't. Thank you so much, man. That's so rad. Thank you. We appreciate you guys so much. And thank you, Tatum. That was so sweet of you. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. That was so sweet of you. I don't know why it won't let me see it, guys. I can't see that we got new members. That really bums me out because I want to be able to share that love. And thank you guys so much. Podcast in the woods. It only works for your computer. That was really nice, Tatum. Thank you. I can't. It won't let me see it. Part 6, Jason Lives. It's entertaining, but Megan falling for and trusting a guy she just met, and Tommy being an action hero for a completely different person. Part 5, I don't care for. Understood. Completely understood. Thank you. Stair follows Kane's idea. That's awesome. Yeah. That's so cool, man. Thank you, Tatum. Wow, I'm surprised right now. That's so cool of you. Thank you. I've become a bit of a physical media collector myself. I've had it in my head that I'd act as sort of as a librarian of horror movies. Yeah, I get it. Hey, my dude, Patrick. Jason X is the only semi-decent.
What?
I take that.
Wow.
I take that back.
Not my dude anymore.
Michael Myers all the way.
Yeah. That's my dude.
Yeah, cool, Patrick.
Eat shit and die, Ricky.
Eat shit and live, Bill.
Love you too, Patrick. No, it's nice to see you, buddy. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why it's not working, Tatum. That bums me out because I really wanted to. I really want to say thank you guys for being members. And Tatum, thank you for being so generous with your time and your money. Thank you. That's so cool. I just talked to Steve Wilkos, and he said that you did not tell the truth. So that
Steve, what?
Yeah, Steve. Yeah, I didn't go Maury. I didn't go Maury.
You should have went Maury.
No, I go Steve Wilkos.
Yeah.
Steve Wilkos is my dude. That dude's genuine. He's cool as hell.
Dude.
All right, so number 6 will be Mike starting us off.
I have Martin Scorsese's The Irishman listed as my sixth favorite.
That movie's awesome too. Amazing.
That is an in-joke for any Halloweenies listeners. It was a bit that began on our first Friday the 13th episode where we would compare each film in the series to Martin Scorsese's The Irishman and whether or not it achieved its goal as good or worse than Martin Scorsese's The Irishman.
Man.
So a movie that I like better than Martin Scorsese's The Irishman is my real next one, and that is Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. Just one of my absolute favorite movies in this series, because this is where it gets a little bit harder kind of ranking them for me. But Jason Goes to Hell doesn't work without the good ones that came before it. And like you mentioned earlier, that Adam Marcus did have an impossible task. This young director taking on his franchise. But I love the amount of imagination he put into it, because after having, so let's say, up till 6, I think. Until I was on this show, I thought most people agreed that those were the best ones in the series. Those ones up to 6, it kind of gets a little bit middling. Some are worse, some are okay. So to kind of blow up the series and literally blow up Jason in the opening moments of this movie, I think is inspired. And Now, I don't know if I saw this movie opening day, August 13th, 1993. So there's a lot of nostalgia for this one for me. And I can't say that if I had seen this movie when I was 23 or 33, I would have this same opinion. But I just enjoy the wildness of it all. And yeah, because I could speak for myself as an adult seeing this and be like, wait a minute, he has a sister now, this, the other thing. But I do love like the way in the opening modes kind of treating him kind of real, Jason real. That he would be on America's Most Wanted, that they would finally just send in a SWAT team, because I think that's great. Because one of my favorite horror movie endings of all time is actually H2O, because on the playground you always said, why don't you just cut their head off? Why don't you just blow them up? Like, this is the only way to stop him. It's like a vampire or something along those lines. But Jason Goes to Hell, like, I can't say enough good things about this movie. I know a lot of people kind of discredit the cinematography, but I think like maybe he doesn't win all the time with it. But I think Adam Marcus and his cinematographer try to like use shadows very well in this one. It does look very 90s, which whether you like that aesthetic or not, that I think a lot of that hinges on whether you like this movie or not. But let's talk about it right now. Great kills. The split up in half in the director's cut in the tent of the girl riding the dude. Fucking awesome. The incredible melting man on the floor of the Voorhees house. And for anybody who says you don't get enough Jason, true Jason in this movie, I guarantee you get just as much if you were to count up the amount of time Jason is on screen in this movie and compare it to any of the classic Friday the 13th, it's about the same, because he's like part 3, he's hiding out in the shadow. 2 and 3, he's hiding out in the shadows. All of them, he's mostly hiding out in the shadows. I think you only get like probably a good maybe 10 minutes of Jason in every Friday the 13th movie. Just awesome picture. What a picture. Jason Goes to Hell.
I love what a picture. You need a cigar. A moving picture was so good. So, how about you, Louis? What's your number 6?
So my number 6, and I'm glad I get to do this because you guys have been crapping on it all night, is Jason Takes Manhattan. I love this movie.
Oh, man.
You guys have been crapping on this movie the whole time. Dude, this movie is great. First of all, at Camp Crystal Lake is in New Jersey. They get on a boat. Oh, wow, that's fucked. That's fucked. So they get on a boat, and half the movie is on this boat where they get to kill everybody on the ship. And they take the Camp Crystal Lake obviously goes to the Atlantic Ocean, so they go up to New York. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. It's not hard to imagine. It's really good. And the kills are amazing. Like that guitar kill where she gets it through the guts. That's awesome. I just like how she's playing in the stairwell and he just comes out of nowhere and shoves the guitar through her. The ending where you guys are all like, oh, that's so stupid, where he takes his mask off, whatever, that's amazing. Where he's just covered in sledge, that's awesome. Punches his head off. This is great, one of the greatest movies out of the entire franchise. My wife agreed to say, she said that she hated that one the most too. I was like, what is wrong with everyone?
I see, now this reminds me of you and your wife. She's sweet and you're sour. Yeah, that was Jodie Sweetin and Devin Sawa. We got Sweet and Sour here.
I want to see that movie. I want them to make a movie called Sweet and Sour. That would be amazing.
So my number 6, my middle of the road film here is part 5, A New Beginning. And what I'm going to say with this is, you can say what you want about it's Roy Burns. It's not Jason. It's Jason.
It's Roy Burns.
Throughout the whole movie until the very end, when he falls out that fucking barn, it's Jason. This is totally a Jason film. This to me is the Halloween 3 of
it totally is like a whodunit type.
But like nobody gives a shit about this movie because at the end it's not Jason. Just like in Halloween 3,
it totally is.
It doesn't have Michael Myers, but it's a good movie. Like the reason this is lower for me, if you took out a lot of the nudity in this movie, this may be my number 1. But I know it's weird because I'm a horror fan. I'm a huge slasher fan. I'm not a big sex and all that shit in the movies. Like it's not my thing. I when I watch TV, when I watch movies, I'm not an overly sexual person. I don't need to see it. I don't need to watch it. So that's what brings this movie down a little bit for me. I love the kills. I think the kills are great. I love the idea that it wasn't Jason. I thought they took a huge risk with that. we had the final chapter. Like that was Jason being killed. Like the dude is dead. So what better way than to have somebody faking being Jason? Like there's a lot that I love. And Reckless Reggie is the shit. I love little Reggie. Like he's awesome.
Yeah.
And obviously
he is one of the least annoying, least annoying children in horror movies.
Yeah, for sure. He's very
top 5
charismatic
good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like Demon's phenomenal. I love Demon.
I always pictured
I
always pictured he played in a band that sounded like Cameo. That's kind of the band because he has a bass in the car and he dressed like a rock.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I assume he was in a Cameo or like one of those like a Rick James style punk funk band. Inspired by the Minneapolis sound. That's my fan fiction.
I'm there for
Demon.
it.
I'd watch it.
I'm there for it.
I'd watch a Demon origin story.
My whole thing is like, so Roy Burns, he comes back for revengeance because his son was killed, but his son never even knew his dad. That whole
but I don't care. It's a Jason movie.
Okay.
They don't need to make sense.
It doesn't.
It doesn't need to make sense.
You just have to forget about some of the plot.
Yeah. Just look at the kills and boobies.
Yeah.
But like you said,
there are some top notch breasts in this film.
There are.
What's her name? What's the actress's name? I think her last name is Voorhees, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
In the woods.
Deborah Voorhees.
Deborah Voorhees, man, one of my favorite cinematic duos.
Now that was a picture. So yeah, like I said, this is the middle of the road for me. I think this is a good, halfway point for me is A New Beginning. What about you, my love?
Mine is actually the OG number 1.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, I don't hate this movie. I do think that it's boring. A lot of the scenes linger. Like we watch her make coffee for like 25 minutes.
Oh my God, I know.
Hey, that's how I learned how to make coffee, guys.
Yeah.
Was
For
Friday
like
the 13th.
40 minutes. She's making
Yeah,
that
but
coffee.
you don't make good coffee. Like your
Slow.
your coffee is so weak. This coffee is weak.
Beep,
Oh,
Ashley.
man.
Beep, Ashley.
Weak coffee.
Beep,
Weak,
beep.
weak coffee. I do love Mama Voorhees though.
Betsy
Betsy
Palmer.
Palmer,
So
she's
good.
fucking amazing. Like
Unhinged.
she just says exactly what's on her mind, and it doesn't matter who's sitting next to her. She's gonna tell you like it is. And I think that she's a phenomenal actor, and I do love her in this movie. She is a high point for me in this movie.
She's fucking unhinged.
She is. Like,
Yeah, she is.
There was an interview and she was like, yeah, I read the script and I thought it was a complete piece of dog shit. And she was sitting right next to Victor Miller and he was just like, yeah, like, okay. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. It's middle of the road for me. Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, we'll catch up on the chat real quick before we get into our number 5. Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. Fantastic, great cast, amazing kills, and Ted White is an amazing Jason Voorhees. Trish Jarvis is actually my favorite. Final girl, nice.
Good choice.
The New Blood. If you can't get Freddy, you get Carrie.
Yeah.
True.
Well, I mean, at that point, Freddie was like he was doing, the thing. He was like,
I never caught the Necronomicon in Part 5.
Where? That's made up. He's fun. He's
Really?
fucking with us. He's jocking with us. He's pulling our
I never
leg.
seen that. I'm gonna have to look this up because I need to see that.
Actually, I do know where it is. That the gentleman in the sports car, he actually does a couple lines of blow off the Necronomicon, right? When he's picking up the waitress.
Wait, are you being serious? Because
I'm not being serious.
I'm totally lost right now.
I'm seriously like, I'm rewinding.
Yeah, I'm watching the movie in my head right now.
And I'm like, I do not remember that.
Me neither. I was like, what the hell? Did I blink for a really long time?
It's showtime.
He does blow off the Necronomicon. That's amazing.
Better late than never. Could you imagine that? Klaatu. Barata.
Necktie. Raw. That'd
Hey,
be so
Milo, you're
good.
here.
Oh man.
Little Snatcher, but my ranking for Part 8 is a lot higher. Why?
Yeah.
It's a Scooby-Doo style slasher.
For sure.
Hey, you didn't have to do any.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing what you did.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Oh yeah, you got to see these, Milo. They're fantastic. They're better than Halloween. Always love being here for these
Why?
streams when I have the chance. I love hearing them in the background while editing. So I'm here. Oh man, I can't wait to see your reaction. I loved the twist in Orphan First Kill.
Yeah,
So I can't wait to see what you do with that.
for sure.
Jason Lives, fun movie.
Mm.
Yeah, we love having you here, Patrick. Nobody say the twist in Orphan First Kill. It's so new. Not everybody has seen it, so I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Please don't. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, the twist in
You-
Orphan First Kill rivals the twist in the original.
But you have to go in it blind.
Yeah, it
sure.
totally took me by surprise when it happened. I was like,
I didn't
"Wait,
watch any
what?"
previews.
Oh, dude, you got to
Yeah.
watch it. It's so good.
It's good.
No, I
Um,
haven't watched any. I haven't seen it, but I didn't watch any of the previews because I want to go in
Okay.
completely blind.
Yeah.
Please. This is a great stream ever. Thank you. That's these guys. They're making it.
Absolutely.
These three are making it happen. Reggie the Reckless Scream's iconic. Yes, he does. So good.
The real Scream Queen right there. Reggie
Yep.
the Reckless.
Yep. He definitely was a porn director.
Under the name Danny
No,
Stone. That
no.
was his nom de porn. Danny Stone was Danny Steinman's name that he directed those films under.
It's the background where Jason in the house on the table in the back. I'm gonna look for this, Robin, because I need to see this. Like, I gotta see this.
Jason's not even in part 5. He's fucking.
I don't, man. You're killing me now because I need to know. What the fuck? It's that good, Ken. Better than the first Orphan? No, I don't think that Orphan First Kill is better than Orphan.
It's just the twist.
The twist is
better.
good.
Yeah.
I don't think it's better, honestly, in my opinion. I like the twist a lot, but I like the first Orphan better, but I really, really liked Orphan First Kill a lot.
I guess I didn't even really think that there was going to be a twist.
Right. I went into it just thinking it was going to be a regular slasher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do get that, but I think the twist was fun.
Mm-hmm.
The best horror film I've seen recently, other than A24's X. I'm still going Black Phone.
Black Phone is my favorite.
Black Phone was amazing.
So
oh my
far,
god!
yeah.
So
I saw
far.
the drive-in was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
I guess
Yeah.
you know we are up to number 5, and that will be Louis starting us off at number 5.
All right. Let's see. Number 5 is Jason Lives. I love the opening to this film. This movie is amazing from start to end. And what's funny about it is I've only seen this once, and I saw it when I was really, really young. This is also one of the very first films I ever saw out of the franchise. So this movie is actually amazing. I love the opening to this, and the whole movie is great. So if nobody's ever seen part 5, I would start with part 5 because part 5 is amazing. Or Jason Lives. I don't think that's part 5 though. 6,
Part
yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason Lives is really good.
I think Jason Lives is up there. I think it's very, very, very good. None of us have really talked about it yet, so that's a testament to what we all think of it, and it's the 6th fucking entry
Right.
in the franchise, and none of us have talked about it yet. If that tells you anything, so
that opening is so good, though. Opening is so iconic and great.
Yeah.
For us to even get Jason, like
Right.
how many movies we got until he was actually the Jason that we all know and love.
Right.
Exactly.
So I'm actually gonna go, and I am going to say my number 5 is the remake. I love the beginning of this movie. That first act is fucking deadly. It's so good. Now my big thing is when we're talking about Friday the 13th, the remake, you shouldn't call it remakes. This is essentially rebooting 1, 2, and 3 altogether. It's taking the first 3 films, that first trilogy, and making them into one solid film. But the kills are great in this movie. I love the fact that Jason's like a survivalist. I love the fact that he's intelligent. And I really like how you have the scene where he throws the axe into dude's back. And he's
I
just
love
laying on his
that.
stomach, and he's trying to lure the other people out. Love that. And I love before when he kills the guy right before him, and he's like, he has a hockey stick. He's like, I think you're looking for this. He takes that screwdriver and pushes it right up to his neck. Oh, that was so rough. But there are things that hold it back. The main cast is probably one of the worst. I hate the boyfriend, and obviously he did a good job because he makes you hate him. But Your breasts are so great, baby. You got perfect nipple placement. It's like, who the fuck talks like that? Nobody talks like
why don't
that.
you tell me that?
Dudes who play frisbee golf. Probably talk like that.
Touche.
I'm telling you, wasn't the director French? Like, I think it's like a French like something gets lost into translation. Like, he thinks that's what American teenager like from hearing about Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah.
You got such great nipple placement, baby. I'm so glad they're not on your elbows. Like, I don't know, man. Like, there's just so much about this movie that like I love, but there's an equal amount that I dislike. Like, I love the opening kill when he's running and he puts the machete in Boy's head. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
And I love the variation of the sleeping bag kill where he puts her over top of the fire and just cooks her inside the sleeping bag. Like,
that is awesome.
Yeah.
That's fucking cruel, man. Like, that is cruel. So, like I said, there's a lot I love about this movie. There's a lot to dislike. That's why I have it at number 5, the Friday the 13th remake. While you're giving yours, I'm going to go be dad for a second.
Okay, my number 5 is part 4. Again, most of the characters are not memorable. We do get Crispin Glover though, and his nice dance moves, which I do love. I do like Tommy Jarvis. As a kid, I think that he is an upside to this. Axel, the coroner, is such a weirdo. Like, yeah, he's all like, she's cute. You mean used to be? No, she still is. Like, what a fucking weirdo.
Axel is one of 2 iconic Axels that Paramount delivered us in 1984. The other one being Eddie Murphy's Axel Foley.
Ah, yes, I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
I do, however, like Axel's kill where he gets his whole head turned around. I think that's pretty cool looking.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I do love how gory this movie is. Like I said before, I love the gore. So, and this movie is pretty gory. A lot of the Jason movies, they get a lot of their gore cut down. I have noticed a lot of the Friday the 13th movies do. Some of the inconsistent, like Jason can teleport, I guess. You know, he'll be upstairs and then he'll be downstairs, and he teleports in this movie a lot. I noticed too. But overall, you know, it's middle of the road for me. I still enjoy it, so it's my number 5. All right. Wait, was that all of us that did our number 5?
No.
Was that the last one?
No, Louis did. So now Mike's got to do his number 5.
My number 5. So these next 2 entries for a while kind of interchanged with me, but I think this is where I'm going to land, you know, for at least for now, I guess. But Friday the 13th part 2. I'm a big fan of the original one, but I do feel like maybe the second one is almost a remake of the first one. And that was the thing, you know, a lot of sequels did back then. And it does improve upon some things. It is the first entry point of Jason, where I like the pillowcase Jason because it's kind of unnerving. Very unnerving. And it kind of makes sense. Like, that would be what this guy would find in the woods. I love the opening sequence. I love the fake outs. I love the scare, the way it kind of builds up. And I love that Jason's smart enough to take the kettle off of the fire. Again, a lot of great characters. Ginny, one of the all-time final girls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
I like manic hillbilly Jason, where he's kind of scrawny and he runs, which is why I like him in 2 and 3. And we'll talk about 3 shortly. But 2 is just what a creepy ending with the eyes. And unfortunately, I don't think we're ever going to get to see that final shot that they did shoot. They did shoot footage of Mrs. Voorhees' decapitated head's eyes opening.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
As the big final scare. Like, there's behind the scenes photos. Like, they at least, whatever happened to the footage, I don't know. But I still, to this day, whenever I watch part 2, because it feels like it's going to happen.
Right.
And I know it isn't, but I'm ready for it.
They don't have it the director's cut at all?
No, because even on the footage that they found for Shoutback, they did not have that footage. They had all the extended kills. You got 2 all-time Stone Cold Foxes of the franchise, and Kristen Baker and the lady, I'm neglecting her name, who was gonna, oh man, poor Mark. Memorable kills, and I love that for a series of films that kind of counts on people, like people's vices being the reason they die. It's actually Ted, who survives by trying to find some after-hours action.
Right.
Right.
And shout out to the Smoky Mountain Boys, the band at the casino bar.
Exactly.
All right, man. So we are going to go to our number 4, but first let's catch up on the chat real quick. Orphan First Kill is the best. Oh, I already did that one. I'm a stupid idiot. Orphan First Kill and Prey surprised me. Both are great.
I love Prey.
Yeah.
So much.
5 is part 2. I think the cast is much better than the OG. Not a fan of Sackhead Jason.
Me neither.
X is genius. Just my opinion, Russell.
Pearl comes out on Friday.
Yeah, Pearl comes out.
I'm excited for that.
Let the canceling begin. I'm excited now. Freddy vs. Jason. Yeah. Numbers 5 is Jason Lives. X was very good. The Black Phone is amazing. People are saying Barbarian is amazing. I'm excited for Barbarian. I think that looks so good. The one with Justin Long and the dude from It, Bill Skarsgård.
Yep.
I think that looks really good. I'm excited for that one. Make sure you guys, again, subscribe and follow the podcast. These guys are amazing. Number 5, the remake. It's stupid fun, and that axe kill is metal. It totally is. Jason Lives. It's hilarious and so tongue-in-cheek. Oh, it's Jason Goes to Hell. Yeah, Jason Goes to Hell definitely has the Necronomicon in it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Remake at number 5, canceled yet again, Ken. Well, aren't I a fucking stinker? The original, it's so boring but likable. Mrs. Voorhees brutally killing everybody, but just bitch slapping Alice.
Mama Voorhees is, in my opinion, the highlight of the movie.
I love that. Number 5, Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
Marcus Nisbill did the Friday 13th remake, and he's the guy that did the Texas Chainsaw remake. Very nice. Guys, we're up to 24 likes. Let's get those likes up. Hit that like button. Jason, definitely scary as hell in the remake, for sure. I think that was the scariest Jason.
Absolutely.
Axel from part 4. Dude, such a perv.
He's such a weirdo. She's still cute, even though she's dead.
Yeah. Jason been teleporting since part 2.
Yeah.
Ken and my list are scary close. We love you too. Lauren Marjorie Taylor is the actress from part 2.
Thank you very much.
There we go. All right, so now we are up to our number 4, and that'll be me starting us off. And as a kid, this was the first Friday the 13th movie I saw, and for the longest time, this was my absolute favorite Friday the 13th movie. And when we rewatched it, I still have a nostalgia spot for it in my heart, but it's just not as great as I remember. And that is Friday the 13th, part 3.
What?
I know. Growing up, this was my favorite. Jason gets his mask. I like Shelly. I know everybody gets annoyed by him.
Shelly's awesome.
Like this,
he's a shit.
They're going skinny dipping.
I don't fit the bill. Wah, wah.
He's an
Eeyore
asshole. He got what he deserved.
Yeah,
but come
for
on,
sure.
man. That handstand kill is so good. Like, I love that kill. Vera getting the harpoon in the fucking eye. Where is
she? Dude.
Dude.
Yeah.
That scene stole my heart.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of dumb 3D shit in this movie. I get that. Like, I promise you, I get that. And I know it's annoying as hell. But, man, there's so many good things. Like, the part where they're in the shower and he actually, if you guys watch, when he walks out doing the handstand, Jason's just literally standing against the wall. Like, he's hiding in plain sight. And I think that's brilliant. Like, that's so funny to me. And I do like the biker gang. Like, I love, I think they're great. I don't like the fact that they're kind of one note. Like, you know, we got to put black people in here. Let's make them a biker gang.
I do think it's funny, though. I love, what do I want to say, multiracial gangs in movies, because that's not how gangs work. But in the movies, it's always like, it always looks like a college recruitment pamphlet. It's like, all right, we need a black guy, we need a white chick. Let's get the Chinese guy over there.
But like, more about this movie, like I love watching Jason get that mask. Like, I love that. It is weird how Vera confuses Jason with Shelly. Like, that part has always made me think.
Hey, if I was Vera, I'd take Jason over Shelly. I don't know.
I would
too. Yeah.
And as a kid, I was always so jealous at how well they could juggle. I was like, this is bullshit, man. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, right?
That's what you were jealous of?
Yeah. I was like, man, they're like, look at those boobs. I was like, you guys watch them juggle, right? Like, that was dope. Like, that was so cool. But yeah, again, I don't hate this movie, but I don't love it as much as I did as a kid. Like, I watch it now and there's certain parts, like I said, the 3D shtick it gets really old really fast. I'm not a 3D person anyway. Even when it's in 3D, I don't like it. I don't like the way it makes me feel. It gives me a headache. So to watch someone pass me a joint like this, it's not for me. It's just it's not my thing, man. But I love a lot of the kills in this movie. Even the one at the beginning when he shoves the knitting needle through her head and it comes out his hand.
Yeah,
dude, so good, so good. So
yeah,
I do gotta say, there's a lot I like about it. Obviously, it's my number 4, so I like it that much. So number 4 for me is part 3.
Number 4 for me is Freddy versus Jason. I truly enjoy this movie. Okay, the characters, most of them are you could give two shits less. Like you're rooting for Jason to fuck him up. Like they're pretty shitty. The CGI is also very shitty. But it's fun. I like that Freddy is in it. I love their fight scene. And then the end, how he has Freddy's head and Freddy winks. The gore.
Jason still won.
I mean, Freddy was still alive though.
But he's ahead.
Freddy's still alive though.
What Jason turned into Al Snow.
Freddy has been less, okay? Freddy has been less. I'm just saying. So yeah, I think it's fun. I have a lot of fun with it. So that is my number 4.
Fair enough. So how about you, Mike? What comes in at number 4 for you, brother?
Number 4, Friday the 13th, Part 3, which this I think is very distinctive, particularly out of those first 4 entries. Friday the 13th classic, in that it's the first time the film was shot in California, so it's got a distinct look to it. It's also the only Friday the 13th film shot in scope, 235-1 by Gerald Field. Now, you had mentioned the 3D not working for you, but I've seen this in 3D twice. Once at the Times Theater up Milwaukee, about 20 years ago, and then they recently just screened it at the Music Box at midnight, and the 3D just looks great. And where you're laughing at it at home, it's such a thrill in the theater when the joint is handed, when the juggling happens. And Chris's flashback to Jason plays completely different in 3D when you have her silhouette and you have the depth of Jason in the background. It's even creepier there. I like that. I do like that point of the story where they kind of suggest that Jason may have assaulted her, because it's just, you never revisit that again, but it also makes sense with the character of Jason and who he is and his motivations throughout the rest of the series. And I just think it's such a great looking movie. And like I said, to bring it back to that, using the scope, the way, like when you watch this on VHS when you're a kid, you didn't pick up on this, but when you watch it now and it's remastered state, where you can see Jason just kind of lurking around the edges through the whole movie. And of course, this you get the mask in this one. This is where Friday the 13th becomes Friday the 13th. This is it. Big fan, love it. Like, just it always. I know 2 is a fan favorite, and I like 2 a lot, but 3 edges out 2.
I agree.
Yeah, obviously for me as well. So, how about you, Louis? What comes in at number 4 for you?
So number 4, I agree with Ashley. Freddy versus Jason. I waited so many years for this movie to come out after I saw that dog shit Jason Goes to Hell movie. I love this movie. I saw this in a theater opening night. I went by myself. I was the only person in the entire theater. This is the 3rd movie that's ever happened to me. So I love this movie from the start to end. I did not mind the CGI at all. But I didn't like the worm. I thought that was stupid. This movie really does belong to Freddy, but Jason gets a lot of great kills. He folds the kid in half with the bed, which is amazing. He kills the rapist, which is awesome. One of my favorites. He gets a lot of awesome kills, and it's just a really, really well-rounded film for me. I really agree. I really enjoyed it. And man, the torpedoes. I love their fight sequence. I love when he kills that girl from Destiny's Child and smacks her with the knife, and she flies 30 feet.
Like a football field away, yeah.
Right. Like, how is that even possible? Just whack and she flies away. And it's just a really great film. So, and I waited so long, even when I was like a little kid before that movie came out, I was so like, what if Freddy and Jason were in a movie? And my cousins were like, that's stupid. I was like, it's going to happen one day. You just watch. And because me and my cousins were super huge horror fans. And I was like, it's gonna happen one day. It's gonna happen. They're like, you're crazy. And then when when Jason Goes to Hell ends, my cousin looks at me like, oh my God, did you see that? I was like, I fucking told you, dude. I told you this is gonna happen. And then 15 years later, it happened. Yeah. But yeah, that's
I will say,
amazing.
Every time someone says shit about Jason Goes to Hell, I'm sitting over here like,
I mean, the beginning and the end of that movie is great. The rest of it is just boring.
All right, guys. So we will catch up on the chat real quick before we move on to our bronze medal. So, number 4, Friday 13th Part 2, huge step up from the original. We got the best final girl from the franchise. Yeah, I love the channel and love you, Tatum. Oh, that's sweet. We have Part 3 in the same spot, Ken. I love you, Eddie, so much. I'm assuming that's outside the 9. And if it is, I love you too, Eddie. There are 2 cuts in Part 3. The one in the box set is cut. It just shows him with his hockey mask on later. Not. Oh, really? That's insane.
Really? I didn't know that either. That's cool.
Shelly's dead. Oh, Shelly's dead. Jason X, taking Jason to space was the only place. Man, I don't know. I can't dig it, man.
No.
The concept's great. The execution, not so much. That's with Jason X.
Yeah.
Part 3 is so funny. When I said bad acting by Monica Keena, I meant overacting, which that's fair.
Yeah.
Tomato.
Yeah.
I love the fight scene in Freddy vs. Jason. Like when he's doing the pinball with him. That's vintage Freddy to me.
Yeah.
Like that's
me too.
That's such a cool.
Manly torpedoes.
Thank you.
Yes. Someone else caught my Al Snow reference. What does everybody want?
I met Al Snow once.
Dude, that guy's so dope, man.
Yeah, I met him once. I went to a wrestling match, and one of my friends was a wrestler at the time, and he wrestled like 2 matches before him, and I helped me and Al Snow put the ring back or the bleachers back together. I sat and talked to him for like 20 minutes. It was awesome.
That's so cool, man. We are only doing the main franchise. If we could have put fan films in, Never Hike would have been in there. Vengeance would have been in there. Roseblood, my personal favorite fan film, would have been in there. But we're just sticking to the main not theatrical, but the main timeline of Friday the 13th, not the fan.
All these fan films I haven't. All these fan films I haven't seen. Drop them in my DMs on Instagram, please, because I want to check them out.
Yeah, I'm telling you, got to check out Roseblood for sure tonight. It's so good. And then, like, Never Hike Alone. Then they got Never Hike in the Snow, which is super dope.
I'm writing those down. Dude.
What's up, Chud?
Hey, Chud.
Follow everybody follow us on Facebook right here. Ashley runs the Facebook, so if you want to get in touch with her, that's the place to do it, or on her personal Instagram. My number 3 is Part 2, and now I see why you were so mad at me, D. I'm sorry. No, that's totally fine, Sean. Thank you for asking. I'm glad you came in. I'm glad you're asking.
Yeah.
My Special Boy drops next month, just so you guys know, talking about that. Jason Rising was another great one right here. My Special Boy drops next month. And then Jason Rising, another good one. So now we are up to our bronze medal, which is number 3. Would you like to give us your number 3, babe?
Yeah, so my number 3 is actually the reboot. Again, you pretty much said it, but he's scary. Like, I think this is the scariest Jason. Like, he's smart. He's not like a child behind a mask. Like, he's a survivalist. He captures the girl and like puts her in his little, I don't know, basement or whatever it is, and chains her up because she reminds him of his mother. And I like that. And I like the twist of how you think that you're going to get the final girl and she ends up,
that did get me.
She gets killed and you get a different final girl. I do like that also.
I remember everybody in the theater, we were all like,
yeah,
what the hell?
Yeah.
And Jason, he sets traps, and
yeah.
I think that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
The cinematography is really great too, in my opinion. So number 3 for me is 2009's Reboot.
Perfect.
Yeah.
How about you, Mike?
Number 3, the original, the OG, Friday the 13th, which you guys all kind of mentioned the same thing, that you thought it was boring, whereas I find the pacing to be more deliberate, and I like it. And I feel like despite this movie being made in 1980, it still has one foot in 1970s horror filmmaking, and it's something I like about it. But this is ground zero. Everything afterwards is as a result of this, not just the Friday the 13th series, but like that whole let's say second, third wave of slashers, because like obviously, Black Christmas, Halloween, but every movie, like how Friday the 13th is ripping off Halloween, but every movie that came after Friday the 13th was ripping off Friday the 13th.
Right.
And I like the little touch, like there's a little bit more realism to this in the sense that it's not about a zombie back from the dead, which you get in part 2, or, he really doesn't really become a zombie till part 6, but like this hulking monster. There's this little element of melodrama. It's just about a mother who just loved her son so much that she had to exact her revenge. The motivation is there and it makes sense. Also, I mean, this is some of Tom Savini's finest work. Kind of, I mean, he had done Dawn of the Dead. He had done, depending on whether you want to believe it or not, Nightmare, and he did Maniac. But I really feel like this is where he comes into his own and makes his name for himself. I
didn't know Tom Savini was even involved in the first one.
Oh yeah, I mean,
really?
That's why there's so much inventiveness in those kills, and they all look.
Are you talking the first Friday the 13th?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, that was all Tom Savini.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't. Tom Savini was not a part of part 2. He read the script and he was like, "This is stupid." Jason was the kid that died. Yeah, Tom Savini would not come back for part 2.
Which one did he come back for, though?
Part 4.
He came back for 4? Okay.
Part 4, which is another reason. Well, anybody can kind of figure out where my list probably goes from here.
Right.
But Friday the 13th, just an all-time classic.
Yeah.
All right. So now, Louis, you want to give us your number 3?
My number 3 is the remake. I love this movie, actually. I love the fact that they put 3 films into one. I think that was really cool. The only thing that I don't like about this movie is the fact that Jason Voorhees would never keep a prisoner. He would never keep a captive person ever. I think that they thought outside of the box a little bit. I don't mind the kids in it. I like the boyfriend. I like that you have to hate him. And when he dies, it's so satisfying. When he's running around in the house with the pistol, like, fuck you, dude. He's such an idiot. You're just like, please kill this asshole. When the kid comes over looking for his sister and he's just like a straight a-hole to him, and you're just like, why are you such a jerk, man? Like, screw you. And then every one of his friends who gets killed, you feel bad for him. The axe in the back, the screwdriver through the neck, the bow and arrow through the face on the boat, and as she gets hit with a boat, the kills are inventive. The very ending of it, where they kill Jason, they throw the chain around his neck. Really cool part, callback to part 3, because it's a kill in the barn. I really dig that. So I really like the remake. So I didn't think it was a bad movie at all. I saw it in the theaters. Another film that I saw completely alone, which is really great. I don't know how I keep doing that. I've seen like 9 films in the theaters completely by myself. I don't know.
Every time you walk in, they're like, "Oh, he's back."
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you walk into a movie theater drunk at like 6 a.m.
Oh, no.
That's awesome. So my number 3 is Friday the 13th, part 4. The final chapter. Very little about this movie doesn't make me fall in love. I'm a huge Crispin Glover fan, to the point where I own his album that he did.
Really?
Yeah. Clowny Clown, baby.
It's a doozy.
Yeah, what my favorite movie of all time is Back to the Future, and Crispin Glover is a huge part of that. That's my all-time favorite movie. My all-time favorite movie is not a horror movie. It's Back to the Future, and
those dance moves though.
Yeah, and those dance moves, they taught me how to dance. Am I wrong?
Not a bad film to like either. That's a really good movie.
Yeah,
the original Back to the Future, or like
the OG.
Yeah,
the good one.
Great.
But in Friday 4, like, I love like let me look at my computer. Yep, you're a dead fuck. Like that shit to me is great. The Doublemint twins, getting thrown out the window. That's great. I love part 4. I really genuinely love this movie. I love Tommy Jarvis, shaving his head to confuse Jason. I love the one dude coming back looking for his sister that died in part 2. Maybe the OG, like I like how they made that connection in there. I thought that was great. So, Yeah, I'm a big fan of Friday the 13th Part 4, and I understand why that's a lot of people's favorites, but the two I have above it just edge it out. Where I said 9 through 5 are interchangeable, 3, 2, and 1 are pretty interchangeable too. Like these ones on any given day could be flip-flopped. So, but today, my bronze medal goes to Friday the 13th Part 4. So, real quick, we will catch up on the chat before we go into our next one. Number 3, Friday 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. I don't really like our two leads, but the opening of the film is epic, and CJ Graham is a great Jason. He is a fantastic Jason. My number 3 is Freddy versus Jason. Will always have a special place in my heart for being my first. Oh, nice. And we'll be talking about this movie here relatively soon, Joshua. I'm very excited. Joshua is going to be a guest on my first horror movie, so I'm excited to have him on. Very excited to work with him.
Well, I guess we know what is first.
Yeah, I let the cat out of the bag there. Friday 13th, the OG, Part 3, Jason X. Wow, you got that up high, Russell. I dig it, man. Yeah, Jason Rising was really good. Louis, got to check out Jason Rising.
I will.
It's my 3 months today for the channel. Yay!
Nice.
Thank you, Tatum. Victim No More just came out, Clintonville. Okay, Victim No More. There's another one. Friday 13th,
I got them all written down.
Yep. Cool. Here's what really happens. Mike, how can we achieve peace in the Middle East?
Buy everybody shots of Malort.
There you go.
Okay.
You could also do it by buying a shirt that says, "Who the fuck is Mike Vanderbilt?" I'm just saying.
Hey, I'll tell you what. If I have the Cheap Trick style shirt and the "Who the fuck is Mike Vanderbilt" shirt, if you are listening to this stream, mention to me that you did, and I will give you both shirts for $35 plus shipping. That's saving of $5 for both T-shirts. Both sizes available,
and they are amazing. So make sure you're checking those out. Jason X, yes, it deserves to be this high. It's hilarious, ridiculous, fun, endlessly watchable. I'm just kidding, buddy. No, again, I dig it. Like, I love the fact that we all have such different opinions. I think that's so great.
Someone's gotta like it, right?
Number 3, Jason Lives. Absolutely love this movie. The comedy makes it better.
Yeah.
Freddy versus Jason. We got a lot of Freddy versus Jason up here, really high. Shaim has it at 3 as well.
Nice.
That's I didn't even notice that she has hairy hands. Texas Chainsaw is the OG.
Yeah, those are
I'm actually
Savini's
gonna
hands.
go out.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
probably were more than likely Savini's hands.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that I'd like the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I just had this conversation with Nathan the other day. Yeah, you can consider it a slasher. Yeah, they broke into his house, but he didn't just shoot him to get him out. You know, like he cut their fucking skin off. But I could also consider it an art film. Like it's such an artsy film.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna say the slashers. I still think slashers really started with Psycho and then Black Christmas. I think those are the two. Like when I think of the beginning of a slasher, that's what I think of. The Godfather of horror.
Texas Chainsaw just kind of transcends the genre.
It does.
I think there's something else about it. I can't quite put my finger on it. Oh, one of my absolute favorites, though. Like that movie is unnerving, but also very darkly funny. It's truly an original.
It is.
American original.
Love it so much. My 3 greatest are the first 3 in order. Wow, that's awesome.
Wow,
that's awesome. I'm new here. Well, hey, hit that subscribe button. We would love to have you along for the ride. We do at least one live every week. We'd love to have you join us on these.
Absolutely.
Hi, Gerald. How are you?
Hello.
2, 4, and 6 are the best. Trite but true. Hey, no, you know what? Oh, those are Danae's top 3 as well. The first 3 are the best, then 4. Man, you guys are not gonna like my top 2.
Yeah.
Richard Booker portrayed the greatest Jason by far, then Ted White. Dig it. Ted White was great. Yes, Shaim of the Dead. Make sure you're subscribing to Shaim.
Yeah.
Yes, Clowny Clown. Someone else knows Crispin Glover had a musical album. It's off the fucking wall, dude.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
It's so good.
It's catchy though.
Yeah, so good. 3, 2, and 1 are interchangeable. Back to the Future is awesome. I have my DeLorean time machine toy. Oh, that's dope. I seriously love Back to the Future.
That's cool.
Ashley knows how much I love that movie. Like I fucking love that movie. My number 3 is part 7, but sometimes could be part 6. Hey, this is Tatum's channel. Make sure you guys are subscribing to Tatum, become a part of her family as well. That photo of Jason in the local paper must have been taken by Peter Parker. I do. Yes, you do. Oh my God, Dice, that would be so sick. Please tag me when you do that because that would be so dope.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I would too. That's cool.
Yeah, that'd be great. And Dice is so awesome. Much love from Plymouth. Hey, much love. We love our Michigan folks. Thank you for stopping in.
Yeah.
And here you go, guys. Sledgehammerhorror.com. Get your merchandise. We got our Sledgehammer Horror shirts, beanies. It's all there. So make sure you're checking it out. Psycho and Black Christmas are the granddaddy slashers, 2 very important films. Texas Chainsaw is an exploitation film for me, not a slasher. I agree with Mike. The way that you put that is it really does transcend. You know, it has so much that is
it's got the
so
elements
good.
that become the slasher, but there's just something different about it. And it's the same thing with Black Christmas. Like Halloween kind of streamlines that whole subgenre, and that's why everybody was ripping off Halloween until, like, I in my opinion, after that, everybody just ripped off Friday the 13th.
And I hate to do this. I hate to say this. Ashley, ear must plug your ears.
No.
Black Christmas and Psycho really started the slasher thing, but Halloween perfected it. They brought the boogeyman to the foreground. You know, where Black Christmas, you don't see Billy ever. You know, you never see your killer.
If you want to, it's proto slasher, I would say. And the same thing with Psycho. I think.
I say you see Norma Bates for 3 seconds in that movie. You know, before she's captured by the police officer. But I'm telling you, like, Halloween perfected what a slasher should be. By putting your slasher to the foreground, making the boogeyman real. You know, Halloween perfected what a slasher should be.
That's why it was so successful. And as a result of that success, everybody tried to copy that formula.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel like such an asshole. I've never seen either one of them. Black Christmas or Psycho. I've never seen either one of them.
Black Christmas is a gem, and Psycho, obviously.
Where Black Christmas is also ahead of its time, you have all these female leads, but they're not idiots. Like the one female lead who's played by Olivia Hussey, like she gets pregnant and she's like, I'm getting an abortion. And the guy's like, no, you're not. And she's like, who the fuck are you? I'm not changing my plans for you. And this is in 1974. They made these women super powerful, strong women. Great movie, man. And Psycho is just, it's as close as you can get to a perfect horror movie. That and Nightmare on Elm Street. Psycho has one glaring flaw that I fucking hate, but we won't talk about that because you haven't seen it.
Yeah, no, Psycho's amazing. I love Psycho.
Norman Bates, the father of horror. The House on the Bayou Blumhouse movie was good. I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, keep pushing those likes up, guys. Dice, you're amazing. Dice is the shit. I completely agree. I can certainly tag you. I went as far as that's dope. I cannot wait to see that for real. I'm dead serious. Sandy, the waitress, was absolutely amazing in her performance, although brief but exceptionally memorable. All right, man, you guys are awesome. Black Christmas in Texas came out on the same day. Wow,
really?
That's awesome.
I didn't know that.
I never knew that. Originally, John Carpenter was going to make a sequel to Bob Clark's Black Christmas. That would have been great.
Wow.
That would have been awesome. Yeah, exactly. What the fuck, Louis? You haven't seen Black Christmas or Psycho? Man, you got to check them out.
I know.
Yeah, you got to check these out, buddy.
I know. I feel like a dick. I shouldn't have just kept that to myself. But you guys were talking about it so much. I was like, oh, man, I haven't seen it yet. I saw the remake of Black Christmas. Yeah, shut up.
Yeah. Well, you can watch Black Christmas for Halloween, or you can watch it for Christmas. So you have two perfect opportunities.
Right.
You need to watch it because we're doing a versus on Black Christmas in December. So you need to have it watched before then so you can watch our episode and not be spoiled.
I have Psycho. I just haven't gone around. I got like 600 horror movies I have to get through.
And Psycho,
there's a lot of horror movies out there.
Psycho is so good. Like Vince Vaughn is so good in that movie.
Stop.
I've seen so I have seen the sequels and I've seen the remake. I've just never seen the original. I've seen all the sequels, but never the original one. And I've seen the remake. Yeah.
Psycho 2 and 3 are fucking
great. Those
great.
are great.
Dude,
Psycho 2
so
might be
good.
my favorite. I don't know, but I haven't seen the first one, so I can't tell you if that's my favorite night. But I love
The
Psycho
first
2.
one
That was
is my
awesome.
favorite. And
Yeah.
yes, I do want to address this real quick.
Oh gosh.
You do have 3 Black Christmas movies, but Black Christmas 2019, I don't
I like
consider
that
that
one.
canon.
I like
Really?
that one.
No.
I like the 2019 one better than I like the 2006 one.
I feel like
I
the
didn't know
only
there was another
thing
one.
that it had in common was that they were like in a
Out of
dorm.
college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
other than that,
But isn't that better than trying to do a straight remake of a movie that's already
And I agree.
They're perfect?
This is true.
Yeah.
This is
like
true,
Yeah.
we should just do a new Black Christmas movie every couple of years that deals with a sorority, and you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. And then
I just
people
don't
won't
like
even
the whole all men bad. I just
See, I
Right.
like that. I liked that bit. The only problem I had with it was they pulled their punch and made a couple of them good. They should have just gone whole hog and said, no, all fucking men are scumbags. But they pulled that punch because they had to have a couple likable characters, which I think disappointed me. And the goo, it just cracks me the fuck up. Because it takes itself so seriously for the first half, and then it gets so fucking silly for the second half that I respect the swing, I guess. I did enjoy it. Not as good as the original. The original is an all-timer.
I'll be right back. I gotta take a kid to bed. I'll be right back.
Go ahead, buddy.
All this parenting duty on this fun.
I know.
Mentioning Vince Vaughn in reference to Psycho almost set me into cardiac arrest.
that's why I'm like, no, stop.
Yep. Anthony Perkins was amazing. I didn't mind Psycho 2 either, but the ones after that. See, I really did like Psycho 3 a lot. But Psycho 4 to me was just that's where it really fell off. But I mean, it is what it is, that's each their own. Black Christmas 06 is my favorite of the 3. Respect it, but respectfully agree.
Oh, that yellow.
06 and 19. Too much eye shit for me and too much mom and son fucking for me to get on.
I don't like that either.
Anthony Perkins is Psycho to me. Yeah.
Anthony Perkins is amazing.
I thought A Christmas Story was the remake to Black Christmas.
Yeah. How many directors have not one, but 2 Christmas classics?
That are iconic.
Yeah.
Right.
Movies.
Like big time.
I got to throw that out there. We just did this on a podcast. We were guests on a podcast that was talking about Psycho the other day. You can't talk about Psycho without, the remake. Rest in peace, Anne Hesh. Gone too soon, man.
Yeah.
Such a bummer. Such a bummer. Yeah, that fucking sucks. Psycho 4 is my fave. Olivia Hussey was great in it. What are your opinions on Walt Gorney?
Oh, that's Crazy Ralph. I love Crazy
really?
Ralph. One of the most memorable characters from the first 2 films.
Oh yeah.
You're all doomed. Going up to Camp Blood, ain't ya?
They have that fake ass. Crazy Ralph in part 3 with the eyeball on the side of the road. It's just not as memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we are up to number 2, and Mike, that'll be you starting us off, brother.
Oh, number 2, Friday the 13th, part 6. Jason Lives. So this is my second one. I mean, it's expertly made by Tommy McLaughlin. I think every film kind of has a vision from the director, but I feel like this is the most auteurist Friday the 13th in the sense that he really got to do whatever he wanted, just as long as he brought Jason back and brought the mask back. Those were his marching orders from Paramount because of the disappointment in Friday the 13th Part 5. And the injection of comedy is inspired because, as I said about Jason Goes to Hell, and even to a point, Jason Goes to X and Friday the 13th Part 7, like once you've had, 1, 2, 3, and 4, which I don't want to say they're the same movie, but they're pretty darn similar.
Yeah.
That injection of some imagination, some comedy, turning it into an action picture, I think is inspired and really makes this one pop. It makes it stick out. And I love a movie with a fucking rock and roll soundtrack, and this one's got it.
Yeah.
Visually, great looking picture too. Like just
yes, it is.
From a cinematography point of view. Like Tommy McLaughlin is like, what did he do? Date with an Angel. He did One Dark Night, which is kind of a gem of early 80s horror. If you haven't seen that one, about a bunch of high schoolers trapped in a mortuary all night with some pretty good
nice.
creepy crawly effects. So yeah, big fan of Jason Lives.
Great picture.
What a picture.
So how about you, Louis? What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Friday the 13th Part 2. I love Jimmy. She is my favorite final girl out of the entire franchise. I love her from the very beginning, where she kind of shows up and she's scatterbrained and her car won't start. And I love how she is just basically the star of this film. I love, you know, Pillowcase Jason. I think he's awesome, living out in the woods, killing people with a pitch axe. I mean, it's awesome where he kills the cop. It's one of the best scenes, you know, where he runs across the road and the cop chases him through the woods. And you know, she's like, listen to me, Jason, mommy is talking to you. It's such a great movie. And then the very ending is so terrifying, because I remember watching this when I am like really small, and I'm just waiting for Jason to come through that door, and he bursts through the window behind her, and I'm like, oh my god, that's one of the best endings of the entire franchise. So part 2 is amazing.
Fair
and
enough.
Even like the story he tells, like about Camp Blood, when they're sitting around the campfire and they're goofing around, it's really great.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
part 2 is awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. My number 2 is Jason Goes to Hell.
Love how high this is.
Fucking love this movie. And I was talking earlier, you know, and you brought it up a little bit, Mike, but Adam Marcus had an impossible job, because not only was he a first-time director that had only really done music videos up to this point, but he also had them telling him, Sean Cunningham saying, get that fucking mask out of my movie. I do not want that.
Which is so
fucking
funny
mask.
when you compare it to Tommy McLaughlin, who's like, get Jason back, put him back in the mask.
Right.
So, I mean, like, it's one of those things where it's like, you had this guy that had literally an impossible job, you know, like he's a young first-time actor, and he's being told, get this fucking mask out of my movie, which is what Jason's known for. And, you know, we're like, wait, Jason had a stepsister this whole time, and everybody's, half sister, everybody's all mad about it. I'm like, dude, he's died and came back 13 times, and now you're mad that he has a half sister? That's the incontinuity to you?
Now the whole movie, the unbelievable. What's going on?
Yeah.
The franchise is ruined. Where was the sister all the time? What about Jason's Christmases?
The kills are like, you know, the diner kills when he breaks the arm and shoves it up. Like, oh my god, it's so good. And you got Kane Hodder at the beginning with his little what's it called?
His
Cameo. You know, the Kane Hodder cameo, and he's one of the security guards.
Like, what did he say? Yeah, he's a
big pice of shit or something like that.
He's a pussy or something like that.
Yeah. You know, I love that. And Creighton Duke, it was talked about earlier, one of the best characters in the whole franchise, in my opinion.
He kind of makes good on the disappointment of Rob in part 4.
Yes. But I mean, we haven't talked about, we've touched on it. This is a Friday the 13th movie that has Freddy Krueger and the Necronomicon in it. Holy shit, that's fucking awesome, man.
But not until the end.
But when you see Jason pop out from under the floor after the worm's gone down there, wait, does she have to be alive? And he pops out, like, oh man.
It's like, because it's like the money shot. Like, you're waiting for Jason to come back. It gives you just enough Jason in the beginning, and it gives you like exactly what you want at the end. And let me tell you, talking about Freddy Krueger, I was at the show opening day, like first screening of the day at Ford City 14. And when that glove popped out, the energy in that room, as an audience of the packed house on a Friday afternoon, for something nobody was working, just started chanting Freddy. Like,
it's awesome.
A favorite teenage memory of mine, I suppose.
And I'm telling you, man, because when I first seen this, like, I'm not exaggerating this. I've told this before, and I don't know if people actually really believe that this is true. I was grounded because of this movie, because I wouldn't stop talking about the ending. When I talked about, you know, Freddy's glove coming up, my mom was like, I don't fucking care. Shut up. Everywhere we went, I was like, y'all seen Jason Goes to Hell? There's some good boobies. And freaking Freddy's glove comes, you know, like, oh my God, I was just so obsessed with it. And I got grounded because of it, man. So this movie has had such a huge impact on my life, even at a young age. And the idea that they could bring Freddy Krueger into a Jason movie was huge to me in my brain. So I had to put this at number 2. I just absolutely had to.
When I saw it when I was 13, like, the Evil Dead movies were still relatively cultish. Like they're still cultish now, but they were definitely cultish back then. But I was already a fan. So when I saw that book and I'm sitting in the theater, it just blew my mind. And somebody else loved those movies. Somebody who was making movies loved those movies as much as I did.
And they could not say the name Necronomicon and they couldn't bring it up. But Adam Marcus literally went to Sam Raimi and asked him for his blessing. And Sam Raimi was like, yes. But it was different studios. So they couldn't bring up the Necronomicon and show it. But Sam Raimi actually gave Adam Marcus his copy of it to use in the film. That's fucking awesome, man.
That is really
That's
cool.
so dope, dude. Like, and he couldn't talk about it, obviously, because like I said, different studios. But for him to go out and do that and Sam Raimi be like, fuck yeah. And that's awesome, man. So,
And like,
that's way
Jason
cool.
goes to hell.
Those other people in the theater are probably like, well, it's a book, I guess. You know,
Cool
like if you had
book,
not seen
man.
the Evil Dead movies.
I knew exactly what it was when I saw it.
Ah.
I was like, holy crap, that's
They're
awesome.
looking at like that book looks like it's bound in human flesh and inked in human blood, but I could be wrong. But that's just what it looks like to me.
Isn't that the same book that Jason was doing coke off of in part 5?
That's great. You wanna finish your number
Full
2,
circle.
babe?
Come full circle. My number 2 is also Jason Lives Part 6. I fully enjoy this movie. I love the look of it. I love the look of the lightning when it strikes him and it hits him back. I feel like it's an homage almost to Frankenstein's monster, and Frankenstein's probably my favorite monster. Where was I going with that? I love how self-aware this movie is. And like they put people in for just the kills, but like the people that are doing the paintball work thing, what is it called?
With a work retreat?
Yeah, the work retreat that they're doing. And they have like
their
the
company's annual retreat.
Yeah, they have dead on their heads. Like it's super self-aware and like the humor lands. And it looks like it has an actual budget, and I love this movie.
Yeah,
it's good in my opinion.
It is good.
That's my number 2.
All right, guys, we're gonna catch up on the chat before we get to our number 1, and we'll do something special before our number 1.
Something special.
Number 2 is the remake, and those tits were stupendous. They had perfect nipple placement, baby.
Perfect.
And yes, Psycho 4 was a made-for-TV movie.
Directed by Mick Garris of the
yes.
I don't know what the name of his podcast is now, but he does a pretty good podcast.
He does an amazing podcast.
Yeah.
Friday 2, Jason Lives as well. Jason
Nice.
Lives. Jason Lives is high on a lot of people's lists.
Yeah,
man.
it's a
I
good
didn't
movie.
realize that.
I agree.
Roseblood. Got to check out Roseblood, guys. Number 2, Part 9. That's right, baby.
Hell yeah.
That's
I like
right.
that. I love seeing it this high. The only reason I can't put it that high on this list for me, because it's like in the middle, is that Jason Goes to Hell doesn't work unless you have these ones leading up to it. Otherwise, I might agree with you and put it up at like 2 or 3.
Amy Steele is amazing. Yeah. In April Fool's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Love that movie.
It's a great movie.
Tatum. Thank you so much. And it's been a while, guys. I hope you're hungry. 'Cause we got some damn enchiladas.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
Hey, baby. What? Oh.
That's amazing. Thank you guys so much.
Oh,
Everybody
you're going to get it now, bitch.
Oh, shit. Nick.
Hey.
What's up, buddy?
What up?
Jason Scheck is actually that man from Part 3, the old man on the side of the road with the eyeball. Okay. I'm so happy you're here, Nick. It's nice to see you, buddy. It's funny how my number 2 is Ken's last and vice versa. Probably figure T Parker, we don't ever agree on anything except for the fact that you're the shit. I see a Frankenhooker poster.
There you do. That's right there. Oh, I'm in the way. It's back there. Wow.
Oh, go ahead and do it again. I'm sorry. I was getting canceled by Danae, so I had to cancel myself real quick.
I don't know which way to move. There it is.
There it is.
That's also the name of my band, if anybody cares.
Yeah, it is. It totally is the name of his band. I'm excited to see Nick's Hellraiser ranking too, because he watched that whole franchise. So I'm sure his suffering was great. Yeah, no, she hates Hellraiser, dude.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Freddy
Awesome.
Krueger was supposed to be in Friday, and I heard that too. No, the Evil Dead movie got pushed back to next year, but it is getting a theatrical release. So we are getting a theatrical release. I'm so happy. Evil Dead Rise. Yes, Freddy's glove is an Evil Dead 2. It's hanging up in the work
The fruit
shed.
cellar.
Yeah, and that's like awesome.
Jason does love his booger sugar, especially when he does it off of Necronomicon. Yes,
Right off
they
the
do have the
page
hills
number
have
3.
eyes. Yes, that's great. Megan is hot. She truly is
Agreed.
attractive.
Mhm.
Number 1, the remake. The
Wow.
new Evil Dead comes out next year to theaters.
Wicked.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out this year on HBO Max, but it got pushed back. I'm glad it did. I want to see that movie in theaters. And that also shows that, hold on, you put an earlier comment? I missed your first one. The hell's wrong with me, Nick?
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, Nick. I saw Nick. I know what Nick's talking about. Where it's up there.
Oh, right here. What's up, Ken and Ashley? Mike is a great guest. Love the Halloweenies pod. Justice for Halloween Kills, Mike.
Yeah, tell him get the fuck out of here. Halloween Kills. Stupid movie. Evil dies tonight. The best part about Halloween Kills is that we do get one shot of Dr. Sartain's very large genitalia. Hey, Sartain's hung. Nick, thank you for listening. I'm fucking with you. To be fair, I was more fair to Halloween Kills on that podcast than half of the Halloweenies. We'll put it that way.
Okay. You guys rock. Thanks,
Thank
BJ. It
you.
was an amazing experience working with you, brother. He says, put that one up, bud. Calling out Mike for kill hate. Well, I definitely did it.
Nice.
All right, guys. So yeah, we are. Yeah. Love the Halloweenies pod, and I demand justice for Halloween Kills. You guys share your opinions, yet are still attentive to your chat. That is so respectable. You guys are great. Thank you.
Thank you.
We love our chat. Like I said, we've never said fans, but it's a family. We're so glad to have you here, Gerald. I hope you can hit that subscribe button. Come back and join us. We'd love to have you along for the ride.
Absolutely.
And like I said, not only us. I have the Clintonville Slashers YouTube link, and I have Mike's podcast link down in the description as well. So make sure you guys are checking them out. I know, Mike, you're good. Love the pod and stoked to see you on my buddy's channel.
I'm stoked to be here. This has
been
been so much fun. I want to come back and do this again.
Oh, we're gonna have you as a guest on my first horror movie. We'll be working that out for sure. Halloween Kills flashback scene was awesome, but wasn't my favorite overall, and I respect that. Check out Halloweenies if you haven't. It's really a great listen. They just covered the Evil Dead franchise, and they're all great listens. You can do that right clicking the link in the description. So what we're going to do now, guys, we're going to read our number 1. But what we're going to do here is we're going to go and we're going to count back from 12 all the way down to 1. But when we get to 2, I want to stop at 2, name our favorite Michael Myers. I just read Michael Myers.
Yes.
I just read it right over here.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Listen,
okay.
I
You
read
got
it
him on the
right
brain. You love
here.
him.
Okay.
You love him.
He's obsessed.
I know he is. He always talks about it. No cap.
He
Chimneys
does.
are through the roof.
He does. He always talks about him.
Michael Myers is the best.
Anyway, we're gonna go down, and once we get to number 2, we're gonna name our favorite actor that played Jason before we go into our number 1. So, my list was number 12, Jason Takes Manhattan, and I did not just admit that, you son of a bitch. Michael is not better than Jason, and if you want to argue with me about it. Jason Takes Manhattan at 12. My number 11 was Jason X. Number 10 was the OG. Number 9 was number 2. Number 8 was Freddy vs. Jason. Number 7 was number 7. Number 6 was number 5. Number 5 was the remake. Number 4 was number 3. Number 2 was number 4. Number 3 was Jason Goes to Hell, which by process of elimination would make my number 1 part 6, Jason Lives.
All right.
Nice, good choice.
The reason I went right into my number 1 is because CJ Graham is also my favorite Jason Voorhees.
Nice.
And
nice.
a lot of this movie pays a lot of love to the Universal monsters, which you kind of touched on. Not only do you have Frank and Jason coming back at the beginning, but I mean, they have Karloff's Cafe, which is a total, homage to Boris Karloff. And when Jason walks into the cabin and sees the little girl, you're like, that's totally a Frankenstein moment right there. But there is, I don't know if you guys ever noticed this, but there is also a Nightmare on Elm Street reference in Jason Lives. The little girl that's having the nightmares, her name's Nancy.
Nice.
I mean, come on. Tell me that's not a total nod to Friday or to Nightmare on Elm Street. When you have a little girl named Nancy having bad nightmares, I mean, come on. The proof's in the pudding there. But there's just so much about this movie that I think is great. Like you said, it's self-aware. It's still brutal. CJ Graham is great. It pays a big homage to the Universal monsters that we wouldn't have our Universal monsters of Michael, Jason, Freddy, Leatherface. We wouldn't have that if we didn't have Universal's monsters. The Invisible Man, Frankenstein, Dracula, the Creature from the Black Lagoon. They started that. And so to have this, come full circle and have a movie really appreciate it and paid homage to those that came before it, I thought was brilliant. I thought it was amazing. And it's something that it's infected me for a long time. So my favorite Friday the 13th film is part 6, Jason Lives. You want to give us your list, babe?
Absolutely. Number 12, I have part 8. 11 is Jason X. 10 is The New Beginning, part 5. 9 is Jason Goes to Hell. 8 is part 7. Did you cancel me? And I didn't even realize it.
I did not cancel you at all.
Sorry. I'll just knock your camera down.
Yeah, I know.
Where was I at? 7?
Yeah. Damn
it. 7 is 2, 6 is OG, 5 is 4, and I lost where am I at here? 3 is the reboot, 2 is part 6, and my number 1 is actually the 3D part 3. Honestly, I think that this is the one that I've seen most. It's the one that I watched most as a kid. And so it holds a very special place. I like the arrow through Vera's eye. I think that looks awesome. I don't know. I just have a soft spot for it. I like the bikers. I think that they're cool. They're a cool addition to it. Yeah. I mean, like we already talked about Jason, this is where he finally gets his actual Jason look that we love. And yeah, it's my favorite.
Who's your favorite Jason?
CJ Graham. Yeah.
My girl. All right, Mike, how about your list, brother?
All right, let's go all the way back. We got the Friday the 13th, 2009 Jason. Then we have Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason X, Friday the 13th, part 7, A New Blood, Freddy vs. Jason, Friday the 13th, part 5, A New Beginning, Martin Scorsese's The Irishman, Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, Friday the 13th, part 2, Friday the 13th, part 3, Friday the 13th, Jason Lives. My favorite Jason is Richard Brooker from part 3. I think that's like a quintessential Jason look, and I like the outstretched arms, and I like like I said, the manic hillbilly. But my favorite Friday the 13th movie is Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, and here's why: because this is the quintessential Friday the 13th film. If you were to put together a time capsule, and somebody said pick the movie that most represents the Friday the 13th series, I always say that it's The Final Chapter because it checks all the boxes. Jason's got the mask by now. It's got, the rock hard hunks, the stone cold foxes. It's got the rainy night. It's got the notable kills. It's got Tom Savini back in the fold. It's got like everything that makes a Friday the 13th picture a Friday the 13th picture. And I think it's just expertly directed by Richard. Is it Richard Zito? I'm blank. I had a moment because there's another. Yeah, Joseph Zito. I take that back. Richie Zito's from Foreigner, I think. But Joseph Zito, who and you can kind of see him laying the groundwork for Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, with The Prowler, which is a pretty good first wave slasher picture. I just think Friday the 13th Part 4 delivers everything you want and more. You get, and of course, the Crispin Glover dance sequence this odd little touch that kind of helps it, stand above the rest. Great ending, great Jason look, great Jason performance. Big fan.
Nice. So how about you, Louie?
Well, first of all, I'm on my phone, so I can see everybody that's subscribing to my channel. So I want to thank everybody. That's super awesome, you guys. Thank you so much. And you said Joseph Zito. Actually, that's really funny because I am friends with his third cousin, who I had on my channel, Jesse Zito.
Oh, awesome!
Really cool. Yeah. So on my channel, if you look down, Jesse Zito, he's actually Joseph Zito's third cousin. So which is really cool. Nice. So my number 12 is part 1. 11 is Jason X. 10 is Jason Goes to Hell. 9 is Final Chapter. 8 is New Blood. 7 is A New Beginning. 6 is Takes Manhattan. 5 is Jason Lives. 4 is Freddy vs. Jason. 3 is the remake. 2 is part 2. And my favorite Jason is Kane Hodder, and my number 1 film is part 3. And for many reasons. 1, Shelly is my spirit animal. I love that guy. Guy is amazing. I was Shelly in high school, believe it or not the hair, but I was that big of a douche, if you believe it or not. I was that guy trying to juggle and impress girls, and I didn't get a harpoon through my girlfriend's eyes. So
can you juggle?
But, no, I can't juggle. No, I'm just the douche. I'm not the juggler. But yeah, Jason gets his mask. One of the best parts. This is where the iconic look of Jason comes from. I don't mind the 3D, the harpoon through the eye, the passing of the joint, the axe in the face. The biker gang is one of my favorites. I love how unorganized they are. I love the dude with the cigarette in his mouth carrying around the gas can, and I'm just waiting for him to blow up the entire time. And I'm just like, is he gonna die? His kill scene is amazing, right through the chest. Yeah, I love Shelly when his heroic moment where he gets they take his like Velcro wallet away from him and they steal all his cash out of it. That was also me in high school. Getting the car smashed together and driving it back and be like, sorry. So yeah, I part 3 is that's one of my comfort horror films.
I'm telling you, man, when he knocked the motorcycles over, that had to be a fucking wink to Pee-wee's Big Adventure, man.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's the first thing I saw. And also, this is the very first Jason film I ever saw. I can remember renting this from some sort of video, so Hollywood video. I think I got this on VHS. So this is the very first Jason movie. Before I saw any of them, this was the first one. So that's probably why it makes a high on my list. I love this one. This one I watch every Friday the 13th, and I watch at least 2-3 times a year. So part 3 is
fantastic movie. Fantastic movie.
Love it.
Yeah. I do like this movie a lot. So
very distinctive. It looks very different than the other films, and I think that's part of its draw. And all that atmosphere at the end with the leaves and the wind blowing, like again, kind of a Universal Monsters kind of vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we are going to catch up on the chat real quick, and then we will let everybody get on with their night. What was this? Jason Goes to Hell. Just kidding. Part 4.
No, Jason Goes to Hell is a good number 1. I think, you know what, Sean, I admire you putting Jason Goes to Hell at number 1.
Yeah, I'm ignoring that last part. Thank you for putting that at number 1. Kane Hodder is awesome as Jason. He was.
Yes.
Number 1, part 2. With the exception of the recap of the original at the beginning, it's a superior film to the original. No, the wheelchair kill definitely gets me every time.
Yeah, that's terrifying. That's so sad.
It's horrible.
That's a tough
call. I feel so bad for Mark.
I do feel in some ways it is the 2 is kind of the superior film to the original, as much as I love the original. I think that's an interesting point because they're very similar too. It is almost like a remake, except this one has Jason.
It's just like Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 is a total remake of the first Evil Dead, but it's just superiorly done. I in my opinion.
Also, like Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2, it's kind of similar. Garbage Day.
Garbage Day. Yeah.
Garbage Day.
Derek Mears is my favorite Jason. Number 1, Friday the 13th, Jason Lives. Masterpiece of the series from the Alice Cooper soundtrack, the gothic tonal shift, self-aware horror. Yes. And
I can see why it's people's favorites. I really can. It's really good. It's really well put together movie.
It's damn close, but if I have to choose, I go with 4 because 6 doesn't work if you don't already have 4, right?
Right.
Because that's what it's taking the piss out of a little bit.
Yeah.
We also didn't talk about how that's the only one with no nudity whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's true. True, very true.
And one of the rare ones that actually take place on Friday the 13th. The only Friday the 13th movies that take place on Friday the 13th are the original part 6, the opening of part 7. I believe that's the list.
Yeah, the first 4 movies happen over one weekend.
What a weekend, too.
It's like a
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like
a holiday weekend, a 4-day weekend.
Yeah,
it's
4-day
weekend.
weekend.
It's a long weekend. Yeah.
Labor Day.
Slashing.
The only bummer about them not having any nudity in part 6 is we don't know
We
about.
don't see boobs.
No, I mean we just don't know about the nipple about the nipple placement.
The nipple placement. I'm glad they're not in her elbows.
Yeah, I'm glad they're not in her elbows. Favorite Jason is Ted White. Yeah, the Crispin Glover.
Good choice.
I'm telling you.
Ted White's a great fucking Jason.
Yeah, he is.
He just gets out by Brooker for me because Brooker, he kind of like he's inspired by Brooker's performance, I feel like.
Yeah.
CJ will always be my favorite Jason. He was a Frankenstein Terminator, which defines Jason as a character so well. And CJ really brought that to life. And he's so good.
He's
good choice, Shane. That's amazing.
Yeah, CJ Graham is, if you get the chance, and CJ Graham loves to do podcasts. You guys should look into that. We had him on the show when we were first getting started, and he was just the sweetest, kindest guy. He talked to us forever. Like, he was just a sweetheart. So I can't recommend CJ enough. We good. Now that's been renewed, we're gonna watch season 1. I promise you we're going to.
We've been saying this for a while.
Which killer did you give them? What's that? Which killer did you give them their iconic look? If we're talking about who I think the most iconic slasher villain is, it's Chucky.
Freddy Krueger,
if you talk
easy.
No, see, I don't think so. Like, to us horror fans, sure. But I mean, if you talk to and I hate saying normie because I don't want to exclude anybody, but if you talk to people that don't watch horror all the time, everybody knows Chucky.
I feel like everybody knows Jason.
No, people mix up Jason and Michael
You know,
Myers all the
I
time.
think it's a weird generational thing where Chucky and it's because the movies are still going, and now it's a TV series where he is more recognizable also to younger people. You have to remember.
Yeah, it's true.
So to me personally, I always felt like Chucky was the one that everybody knows. The minute they see Chucky, they know that's Chucky. People that never watch horror movies will know Chucky. People that never watch horror movies will confuse. I mean, you get people that talk about Jason with a chainsaw. Jason's never used a chainsaw.
Right.
Ever.
Never
Trust
once.
me. We just watched all these movies.
He cowers to a chainsaw.
Yeah. Leatherface.
Yeah.
With
his stupid pillowcase sack.
I can literally talk about. Oh yeah, Jason Lives is so good. So good.
it really is.
Tatum, you are a great friend of ours. Don't ever forget that.
Absolutely.
And Friday 6 is the only one with kids at the camp.
Yeah, and Jason don't kill kids.
I can understand that argument about Freddy Krueger.
I
really think
only a handful of movies actually take place at Camp Crystal Lake. Because 6 technically doesn't, because it's Forest Green. The first one does. The second one is across the street, or across the lake. The third one's at the farm, and then the fourth one's like somewhere else. Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of the horror punk band, the Jasons? If you've never heard of them, everybody should check them out. They dress up just like Jasons. There's 5 members and they're all from different movies. They're called the Jasons. If you have not checked them out, I highly suggest the Jasons. They are amazing. They have a song called Crazy Ralph. It's breathtaking. Yeah.
I love this. Freddie is the only one with a 1-900 number and a rap album. Could you imagine?
That's
Jason's?
true.
Jason's would be like,
yeah, but who wants to call and talk to Michael Myers, right? He ain't got nothing to say.
Right.
No, it doesn't.
Michael, are you eating? I can hear a puppy there. You're wrong. Jason does have. That's true. Jason does have a chainsaw on Christmas Vacation.
Oh, come on. That's not Jason. Merry
That's so
Christmas.
great, though, man.
He's as much Jason as Roy, the ambulance driver.
Right. I know a place you could put it. You're gonna talk to me that way, Griswold? I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, talking to you. Merry Christmas.
Love that
Kiss
shit,
my
man.
ass. Kisses your ass. Kiss. Happy
Right
Hanukkah.
here. Oh, when they're in the office, kiss my ass. Kiss his ass.
Happy
That's so
Hanukkah.
great,
It's my
dude.
favorite part.
Dude,
Oh my
we watch
God.
that movie every year, man. It's so
I do
good.
too. It's so good.
But see, here's what I'm talking about. The person who interviewed Jamie Lee Curtis in 2018 thought Jason and Michael were the same person.
That's
See,
true. And
people
she
that
totally
don't-
tore him up about it too. It's funny.
How do you interview Jamie Lee Curtis and then
Exactly.
not know?
Well,
And
exactly.
she
But
tore
that's
him
what I'm saying.
up about it. It was so great.
I
She
would
just
too.
ripped him a new one.
I'd
It was
be like,
so good.
Michael is no mama's boy. Come
Oh,
on
stop
now.
it.
I know.
Stop it. I agree, Ken, about Chucky and Freddy coming second because of his iconic sweater. Chucky is number one. Yeah, my nieces, they love Chucky dolls. They love Chucky. Yeah, our daughter
Our
loves
daughter
Chucky.
loves Chucky. And
So
does
Robert
mine.
Chucky. I literally my kid got a Tiffany doll for Easter. So
Heather Langenkamp
That's awesome.
was so fucking great in Nightmare on Elm Street. They brought her back in part 3. They killed her, and they wrote a meta movie just to
to
bring
have
her
her,
back
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's super, super dope. Chevy Chase
Heather
with the
Langenkamp's
chainsaw and
my
hockey
final girl.
mask. Yeah, that's where people get the idea that Jason had a chainsaw. That's what you say. You don't like Wes Craven's New Nightmare?
What's that?
Did you just say you don't like Wes Craven's New Nightmare?
No, I love Wes Craven's new
Oh, okay,
New
never
Nightmare.
mind.
No, part 3 is my favorite. I said Heather Landcamp is my final girl. That's my
Yeah, she's
ultimate final
great.
girl.
We love you too. That was a fun man. Thank you all for sticking around. This was
Yeah.
great.
this was awesome.
It was awesome,
Yeah.
dude.
Michael has double parent and sister issues.
That's true. So I killed
can't
them
even
all.
do it. She would kick my ass, dude. Like,
He just kills them though.
you know,
He
I would
doesn't
say-
"Mommy, help me."
Number 2,
I would
strong number
say
2.
Heather Langenkamp would be my number 3. My number 1, I think, is obvious for me, is Sydney Prescott.
Yeah,
And my
mine
number
too.
2 is Olivia Hussey in Black Christmas. Like, that's how much I
Ooh.
love that character.
Oh, I
and I
don't
think
know
her
who that is.
character is that underrated as a final girl. The girl from When a Stranger Calls is up there too.
Mhm.
Like, she's really, really good.
Carol
really,
Kane.
I really like the Final Girl and Prey, the new one.
Oh
Like,
yeah, Amber Midthunder.
I think she's such a badass.
Yeah,
She's awesome. That movie was so good.
Thank you to all you for supporting my best friends Ken and Ashley. Thank you guys so much. Jason may be a mama's boy, but he ain't got his ass whooped by Busta Rhymes.
Oh my God, here we go again. Here we go again.
Show me
It
the
was
lie.
one
Oh, yeah.
movie. One
Ice Nine
movie.
Kills is so good, dude. Ice Nine Kills is just like, they're amazing to the metal world, but they're also amazing to the horror world. Ice Nine Kills is so good.
He did, however, get his ass kicked by a little boy named Tommy Jarvis.
With a machete.
He got
not
killed.
not
He got
kung
killed.
fu.
He got killed.
Okay. Hey, I will say this. I'm not trying to promote us, but I did do an interview with Lisa Wilcox. If you want to find out about her first horror movie, check it out on our channel. So, again, guys, it's been amazing spending almost 3 hours with you two
This
gentlemen.
was a blast.
Everybody in
Absolutely,
chat.
man. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
What am I, chopped
And-
liver?
I'm getting there. I do want to say, this is coming. We're having scheduling issues right now with our good friend Chelsea Rebecca from the Dead Meat Podcast. She's going to be joining us to count down our final girls. So as soon as we can get the scheduling together, we
Yeah.
will have a final girls
We're
ranking.
saving
It will.
that one to do with her.
We
so-
we told her we would do that one with her, so we're saving that for when we have. They're crazy right now. They're super busy as we are right now. James and Chelsea are just over the fucking moon busy right now. But when things calm down a little bit, I would guess probably around December or January, you'll be getting a Final Girls live with the amazing Chelsea Rebecca. So we're
Yep.
very excited about that. And it's not even close. Pinhead. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Pinhead. We did a Monster Madness, a Maniac Madness, where we did like a
Pin-
round.
Pinhead won it for you, didn't he?
Pinhead won it for me. I think Pinhead is just
Samara won it. For
Samara won it for you, but
you. She's fucking.
my
beautiful.
final two were Pinhead and Rose the Hat.
Yeah.
Those were my
Ooh.
I
final
think
two.
mine were Rosa Hat and Samara.
Yep. Have you ever covered Final Guys?
We did. And
Yeah.
Fool's Night In.
Fool's Night In.
Did.
Yes.
Yes.
It was cool.
So yeah, that was. And this is something I want to say too. Please comment after when you watch the replay. It does help us in the YouTube algorithm, and I would love it so much. Chelsea, love her so much, manifesting she can join. Like I said, man, she's a wonderful person. Chelsea is one of the most genuine, sweet people. James too, but they're both just so busy that it's hard to lock them down. So again, guys, thank you so much. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Mike, Louis, don't go anywhere. We got a couple more questions for you. Everybody else, as always, keep talking horror.
Stay who you are.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Later.